You all are within this ruined camp of the Red Wizards, having recently been attacked and seemingly destroyed by some of the Yuan-Ti. The wizards seem to be missing and or dead. Their last apparent encounter was with him effectively before or days before when you encountered the Red Wizards at the shrine of uh, Nang Nang. Theoretically, I think we put it. Damn, I forgot that I give you that information. I can't say it. He gave you a little bit of a schedule of some of the shrines that they had visited. Do you have that schedule? Like how many days ago it was this, how many days ago it was this one, and how many days ago it was that one?
So I have that the first temple that they found was the Temple of Moa, but I don't think I have a like a schedule of how far in between. I think he's maybe had mentioned something like about 4 to 5 days tended to be between like when he
I
would
think the
be.
time psyched out Larry, but do you remember the number of days that he had said? Gotcha. It's not a big deal. Part of what I was looking to see was whether I actually talked about the Temple of Moa or not. But it was, I think I said 10, 7, and 4 days ago or something like that. So it was effectively like 3 to 4 days between each of their abilities to find these temples. Um, So yeah, we're picking up kind of in that moment. You guys now have Orvex. There's a certain amount of sort of rush in his understanding, sort of with this idea that he's saying, look, the Red Wizards may never come back. They may come back. Um, if you guys don't need any supplies from what we have here, it's probably best to go. Um, but it's up to you guys like to make that decision whether you want to abandon this place. I think I don't have on this note. I just closed the other page. I think we've got you guys are. I think you're about midday on this one. I have to let go of the push to talk. I didn't like transfer over the time between these last two games. Oh yeah, I really didn't put down a time for when that game ended. What did you guys do that day? That was all moving from. Oh, you camped beside the stairs. Yeah, it's probably about midday. You've been to the temple of. Yeah, okay. So about midday. You guys don't necessarily need to rest. But I think maybe Jarek is pretty injured. That maybe a short rest here is what kind of the temptation was.
Yeah, I mean Jarek's been able to. He's I think Island had healed him. He was able to use the healer's kit on himself, so he's not bloodied or anything. But
All
if
right, so really a rest wasn't even necessarily um, needed. So his urgency to go, I don't remember why I said something from him that basically created that urgency. But on whatever level that conversation was at, I feel like his attitude towards it is if I'm going to join you guys, we should not be here if they ever do show back up. So yeah, let's go for this idea. Like, how do you guys want to go about a search where this role may effectively kind of represent what you do over a little bit larger amount of time than simply saying, like, the next like 5 minutes of your life? This might be the next few hours. Like, what sort of pattern are you thinking? Where you might find a temple, where you might push out. Where are we at here?
Yeah, I mean Jarek, I don't think Jarek really needs any. Supplies might look for like a hooded lantern or something like that, but otherwise, I mean, we've got Eku for food and water and such, and he
I think we could
feels.
say you could easily find a hooded lantern. Um, roll 2d6. You can find a hooded lantern and up to whatever 8 units. I think it's pints per hour that the lanterns use. I can't think of it offhand, but you can do like 8 units of whatever their fuel is.
Yeah, I feel like it's like one flask is good for 6 hours or something like that.
Yeah, so you could find 8 flasks basically. I know somewhere in like it puts the fuel source. Yeah, I was thinking it was either a 4 or 6 hour burn time, but effectively whatever that is, you can have 8 of them. So effectively that's like either 24 or 32 hours of light, but you can certainly do that. I think on some level you might have found that in stuff that belies the fact that maybe it was the mercenaries who were carrying that. Not necessarily like in anything that is magical, looks entirely mundane, very much kind of brings back soldierly feels for somebody like Jarek. Anything kind of normal and PHB adventuring equipment that Taryn would be looking. Oh, eyelash in my eye.
Ah, I hate when that happens.
It like stabbed me. I don't know how I did that. Is there anything Taryn is looking for?
No, actually, I feel like I have most of what I need.
Gotcha. So yeah, you guys can collect that. You can grab your lantern. Um, Going back then to that, how do you guys expect to go about your exploration here? I
Um,
guess really one thing you can utilize some of your time. My bad. Let me go to this if Justin doesn't go somewhere. Where are you? What are you asking there, Justin?
oh, no, I was gonna say, like, I think Jarek would be, after they find the supplies, that there's no real need to stay here. He feels like we should push on. Um, Seems like probably south, maybe try and get back to the highway and go south is would be his kind of idea for where to look next.
Gotcha. If you're looking to go highway south, are you interested in going north and then kind of returning south? I meant to use a different color. Like that? Like on the highway? Or are you looking to kind of, again, like this would still have been leaving? This was all bad. One second.
Yeah, Jarek, that would be kind of his idea. Maybe, go out, um, that seeming like opening kind of, and then along the kind of not alleyway, but yeah, exactly.
Basically, return up the stairs you've used previously, get back onto the highway and start moving south.
Yeah, yeah, that's Jarek's idea.
Sound good as a plan for Tarrant?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Let's get survivals here for you. And again, this will represent a little bit larger amount of time here. We'll take out a little bit more of some of the randomness. And then let me have Taryn do a D100 and Justin roll a D20, please.
Sorry, we had to take off Whisper there.
Alrighty. So, As you all begin to make your movement back up towards the stairs you've used before, you do still have to kind of clear that immediate area that you're leaving from this entryway, but you do find it easier because there's evidence that the Red Wizards have been through some of this area already before. So there's times where you basically find yourself back on the trail, times where you kind of lose it and you're cutting it a little bit more. Speed's a little bit better as far as cutting through some of that to get back to the stair. Eventually finding yourselves back on top of the actual stone highways that they kind of have set up here. You can kind of progress through this first area where effectively you all are going to come to see that there's 4 different locations that kind of fit the bill for what you're looking for uh, as far as the temple kind of structures go. A couple of the buildings are a little bit larger, seem interesting. Take a cursory look, and you're able to see that there really isn't anything to this. It's just a larger kind of storehouse, this or that. Pushing on, you find a location that seems like some sort of temple, but it doesn't necessarily connect the dots into everything else that you fit kind of expected, and you don't find any signs of any cubes in there. Um, in that one, there's going to be some level of you guys are attacked by um a swarm of venomous insects. It could be anything from wasps, sturges, or poisonous snakes. In the long run, none of that is even a remote challenge. It's just kind of destroy the things that are trying to suck your blood. Um, and it's just another reminder that this place is kind of a hot, sweaty hell. But eventually, you guys can find that there is indeed one of these shrines here, closest to the actual lava. You guys, um, let me get a just a die roll. Odd, you come at it from the north. Even, you come at it from the south. So, um, kind of coming upon this location from the north. Let me reveal and then have you guys place yourselves. And let's go with that idea. Do you guys think you'd rather have like healer sidekicks here or your actual sidekicks?
I'm good with our regular sidekicks. Use Zeros.
Sound good for you, Chris?
Yeah, Surge sounds fine to me.
Excellent. So let me have you guys kind of set up in this area. And then we are going to lead directly into initiative. Can't actually put monsters at the top of the screen because you can't add them into the initiative if you do. All right, you guys can definitely get ultra cinematic here because technically all 4 of you are going to have the same turn here.
I think like Jarek would be, seeing these creatures emerging, he'd be like, kind of giant guitar and like, with me, I'll, find you an opening.
So here's what's happening here. As you guys are kind of hacking through, coming out basically from one of those locations that I described just as kind of a warehouse, uh, kind of towards that top. you're kind of cutting across to where you see another one of these, and you're essentially walking down this little path right behind that shrine there. Um, do I have the light blue revealed yet? Not yet there. Uh, but you're basically kind of coming to this point. You're starting to cut through enough of the vines and the undergrowth to see that there's kind of like a smooth, rounded wall inside of this crumbled wall ahead of you. And it very quickly kind of reminds you of sort of the back of shrines. There seems to be a wagon that's kind of like being consumed by the vines. They're almost like growing through it, and it's kind of being like lifted up along this crumbling wall. And kind of in the moments that you're spotting this wagon, you're going to hear two things, and Jarek is going to hear a third, where you guys start to hear a growl and kind of hiss of snakes. You hear kind of the growl of a cat, hiss of snakes. Jarek's going to hear in his ear to arms, and you're going to have these creatures leap down on top of you here. As far as things go, that means for this round, Taryn, technically you are going to be surprised. These are ambush predators, and they are here for your souls. But yeah, I'm gonna move you guys back to that map, and that kind of gives you a sense of like you're still almost like bushwhacking through as these things are leaping out. And we are going to start off with the first one is going after Serge. And I think basically this is going to like slash twice with its claws, and as it's kind of raking at you with its claws, you're gonna see as this like wriggling, like kind of like hypnotic like glowing hair of these snakes just kind of like pierce down into you as they bite for you. So uh big old claw attack into Serge. That one should hit. Let me get a con save from him. This is 6+. Next one's going to miss, and then the snake bite is going to miss as well. Effectively, this creature is just kind of like leaping out of the vines, making these slashes. You see these things kind of stab in, trying to bite for him. Um, and let me have a strength saving throw from you as well. Do you know what the modifier is? Oh, wait, it should all be built into them right now. Right, that you can just do a strength saving? Excellent. So it tries to like kind of pull him prone, but you are able to resist the kind of like weight of that. Another of these creatures leaping out from the vines is going for Serge as well. And they're basically pouncing for him at the same time. Uh, Big old claw attack into him, bite attack, and then one of the snakes going down. 16 hit his armor. Actually, really does a
Yeah.
13.
No, he has a 15, so
Gotcha.
16.
So yeah, the snake will be the first hit there. So with this, I need it's going to be two con saves. The first con save is against 6. The second one is a Constitution saving throw for something else. So he's going to lose 1 hit die for that. I think you guys are level 7, so they should be level 6. So he's got 6 total. He's going to fail this one. And this is for 21. Does he have a modifier on his con saves?
Nope.
Okay, so he'll lose another hit die. So I think he's got like 4 hits left. I think that's how they're built. I think that's how it should work. And it's going to go to Terran as surprised. You now gain your reactions. I'm not sure how much that'll change things. Serge is surprised. He now gains his reactions, and we'll go to Jarek. Jarek, while you are not surprised, Zeros will be surprised. So keep that in mind that this is just you acting before they go again.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I think Jarek is gonna kind of like, as the sword's warning him, as these creatures are leaping out, he's gonna
My
move
bad.
to.
I'm sorry. Can I have one more strength saving throw to see if it knocks Serge prone, and then we can go back to you, Justin. Sorry.
Nope, no worries.
Excellent. Continues to hold his feet against them.
So yeah, so Jarek is kind of moving, trying to get around kind of this creature. Almost trying to like draw its attention away as they sees both of them like kind of going after Surge, and just gonna kind of uh slash out with the cutlass, sorry, cutlass form at this creature to his north.
Give you the ability to make a sword that makes any shape you want, and you apologize for not knowing what kind of sword you're playing.
And
So first one's a solid hit, second one's a solid hit as well.
he's going to follow that up with potentially trying to stab one of these snakes like right in its mouth with the short sword. Oh, if they're surprised when I neck at sneak attack, are they considered kind of like incapacitated?
No, surprise does not reduce anything like that. They are still foes. And at this point, again, like they are effectively over and done with. They've taken their turn, and are now on reactions.
Gotcha. Okay, so for that first one, then that'll be 3 extra.
Yeah, I think maybe if I had like knocked them each prone, there might be a different story. But even something like prone, technically there's still threats. So yeah, that short sword stab will also grab flesh. We've got a total of 13, 22, 30. Oh wait, sneak attack's already built into the short sword knows to do sneak attack, but the magic weapon, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's 3 either way, so you could just yeah can use that 3.
No, I wasn't even calling it out for the dice there. I was vaguely thinking about that, but that means there is some way that I should be able to make it recognize. I thought there was something weird about you taking it as a subclass, that it wasn't understanding it.
Is it maybe because the short sword is a finesse weapon?
Oh, I feel like I've got it set up so that's a finesse weapon, but I can definitely check to see, because that's definitely what it is.
Yeah, you've got it in the notes that it's a finesse, that they're finesse
But
weapons. The
that's what I mean. I may not have been able to set it as finesse. I wonder if I start it from like a short sword and make the artifact from a short sword and then modify it, if that would allow me to do everything I want. Because part of the idea was to keep it a finesse weapon, regardless of what shape it took. But yeah, my bad. That's mechanical. That's definitely something that was interesting to me. But yeah, so I think we said it's a total of 30 damage. 13, 22, yeah, 30.
Yep, and that's all for Jarek. Zeros is surprised.
All right. So the one just to the north of you that you just lit into is going to kind of spin on you, Jarek, as it starts to rake a claw out at you. It's going to bite, and then the snakes are going to latch down into you. I think those should be 3 hits in a row. It's a 22, 24, and 19.
Yep, those all hit.
So, as far as the damage of these go, the first two are each for 4 piercing and then 9 slashing. Um, I guess technically slashing and piercing are switched, but I don't think those matter for you. As it bites and then claws into you. And then the snake is going to do the same of 6 piercing damage, and I need a constitution saving throw from you. As the fangs bite down into your flesh, there's that pump. This heat is going to start to flow into your system, and you can tell that you've had venom kind of shot into you. And then you are going to take 4 more poison damage as your body kind of fights against this poison that has been injected into you. And we are gonna go to, oh wait, technically, was that 13 is halved? Technically, it's 6 more poison damage.
Okay, so the
6
first
poison damage total. My bad. I said that poorly.
Okay, so the first two, that was 4 and 9 twice, right?
Um, 4,
I think
9, and then 6 more. So you took 15 physical damage and then 6 poison damage there.
gotcha. Okay.
Like 9 of that was all its modifiers, but each of its attacks technically do a d6 plus 3. So the snakehead just deals poison damage beyond that as well. And then the next of these creatures is going to go for Serge again, and it's gonna go just claw, and then snakes. So the claw is going to do 12 damage. If you can do a saving throw for me, please. DC 12, rather. So he'll be good on that. And then the snake is going to do. Oh, wait, the claw was much better. That was not the crit. The snake is the 12. My bad. This is the DC 12. DC 9, actually, because it's 2 dice. It doesn't damage the modifier. My bad. Can you make another con save for the snake bite? All right, so you'll fail that one and lose another hit point, and then 1 more Constitution saving throw as it starts to envenom. And that one's going to be another one. So he'll have 4 wounds gone right now.
Yep.
All right, and then this is, oh wait, 2 strength saving throws. 1 strength saving throw from Jarek and 1 strength saving throw from Serge. Alrighty. And then that will take us to top of the order with Taryn. Oh, and part of what I meant about cinematics is you guys can potentially move stuff around to actually do that here. If you guys wanted to use your turns to help each other. This is the kind of thing where it's like rule of cool. If you guys have anything creative that you think is just kind of outside of the rules that you want to do, it's the kind of thing where it's far more potential when you guys have this ability. So, type of thing like potentially using your bonus action to grant Taryn flanking, kind of thing where maybe your bonus action is to do some sort of distracting strike against it, in time with Terran's attack so you can grant him advantage. Kind of weird stuff like that, where it's not anywhere in the book, but you want to basically like try to time yourself like that. It's a more creative side than necessarily like something that's like normal. But there's always kind of a give or take with how I like to do rule of cool. So it is like using your something to give somebody else something.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jarek would definitely be wanting to try and use a distracting strike um, to give Taryn an opening. Um, Maybe as he's like kind of struggling back to his, because I assume he's knocked prone. So as he's kind of struggling back to his feet, almost trying to like using one of his attacks to just try and almost like taunting the thing to give Taryn an opening on the other side.
Gotcha. Do you want to use that as an action or as a bonus action? Like, would you like to use it as one of your attack actions or as your bonus? I'll give you either two attacks with your main sword or one and one with each of your swords, and the ability to help Terran.
I could probably I'll go ahead and use that in place of the as my bonus action if I can, in place of the a short sword attack.
All right, sounds good. So with that, I'll give one of Terran's attacks can be at advantage. The other one will just be a normal, like if you use your bonus. But effectively, you can do something like that, and then I'll have both of you guys roll your attacks against that creature at the same time.
All right. Let's see.
Does Jarek have to? Is he able to get back to his feet, or does he have to like kind of get out from under the creature? Is there a
You are not being held down. That is entirely just knocked prone. So you can definitely stand back up with half your movement.
gotcha? Okay.
How did it separate your attack with Terran right between it? All right, so it looks like all of those attacks are going to hit. I think as far as this goes, you two are going to slice and dice this little creature. Uh, yeah. What is it lacking? A D6 from Jarek? You can get sneak attack still. But I still don't think it can live. Because I'm looking at 24, 30, 39, 46, 47. I'm looking at 47 damage. So yeah, you two will basically slice and dice that little creature. As far as things go with your sidekicks, they're basically just kind of popping off here. So, what would you guys like? Let's have Serge go first.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Surge would, yeah, try to shoot it point blank. So let's see. That would be disadvantage, right?
To shoot it with a ranged weapon, yeah.
Well, it rolled two
Looks like it's still a
19s.
hit for 9.
Yeah, that's a 9. Holy crap, that is hard to see.
Whoever programmed Roll20's night mode didn't actually ever use night mode.
And let's see. 2 attacks, right? Because level 6 technically.
Yeah, he should have extra attack.
That's a 15.
15 for 11 more, solid hit. And then you can move if you would like. Otherwise, it will go to what is that? Not Serge, Zeros.
Yeah. So Zeros is going to be kind of staying back a bit, and he's just going to seeing Taryn and Jarek finish off the one is going to turning his attention to the remaining creatures, just going to launch two Eldritch Blasts at it. It's like 13 for the first one, while you miss 23 for the second.
13 actually just hits for 13 more damage. Yeah. Gonna go back to that creature. This time slashing out at Terran. Gonna go for claw bite snake. Alright, so the snake's going to do 5 piercing damage to you. The claw and the bites are going to miss, and you have to make a constitution saving throw for me, please, Terran. So you're going to feel as this little pinprick from the snake's bite is going to start to feel hot like lava, and it's going to start to flow through your veins, and you can feel this venom just cycling through you as your adrenaline is working against you. You will take 24 points of poison damage.
Holy hell. Let's see, 24.
And then that will take us um, gonna go to you guys. You guys can pretty much describe to me how you kill this thing, because theoretically, with 4 of you, you guys would decimate it this turn. So, describe to me how you guys kill this creature.
I think of like Jarek as he sees like one of these kind of snake heads biting into Terran is going to kind of like give a shout and bring his sword slashing down and just try to like essentially like decapitate one of these things, and then as the kind of creature is like kind of roaring back in kind of pain, then with his other blade is just going to kind of shove it right into its kind of exposed flank and try to essentially just like carve out a piece of it.
I'm just gonna ask, how large are these creatures? I mean, they seem pretty big, but
They're large creatures, so for a Terran, you're probably standing maybe like 3/4 of their shoulder height. As far as how long their bodies are, that's probably say like 4 times your height. But they are large cats that would be the size of like a small car.
yeah. Then as Yarrick is doing his thing, Terran is gonna try to basically slide under its stomach and cut it up at the same time.
Funny thing about karambits, but that's pretty much exactly what they're meant for. Put them in right at the genitals, just lift up right through. You'll get to the rib cage, and you got a skinned beast. But yeah, you guys can definitely destroy these two things. When you go to cut off some of the heads, like these snake heads sprout from each of those front leg shoulders. It's a very weird thing to have anybody do for art, but I like the idea that they're almost like a part of the mane of these like tigers. This one looks a little bit more like a hyena, but I like the idea that the snakes almost come from within this mane and almost from kind of that divot inside of a shoulder blade. Um, like kind of right behind the blade. I think the snake heads coming out of that little area fits. So when you go to cut off one, you can cut off like an entire side. I think there's 3 of them to a side. I think it's a total of 6 heads. But you can definitely cut off like an entire side of these heads. And it's like as this is happening, that Taryn is kind of sliding under it, playing a little bit of baseball and just gutting this thing as its innards are just splashing down onto the ground behind him. As you guys kind of calm yourselves, you hear the last breaths coming from these creatures. You hear from over where that wagon is kind of perched on the vines, just little meow, meow. And you hear the sound of little kittens playing around in the wagon.
I mean, I know they just tried to kill us, but now I feel bad. I, I just feel bad now. Goddamn.
They're ambush predators. You guys never had a chance like not to fight these things. They basically say like if the players come to investigate this temple, these things will ambush you. Whether you're actually close enough to recognize the cats in hindsight to feel guilty about it is a moot point.
So Jarek doesn't really doesn't really feel too bad. I mean, they were attacked, they defended themselves, but he doesn't want to. Obviously, doesn't want to just murder these things, even though they would probably kill them if they had the chance.
I should note that while you don't necessarily see them right away, when you do see these things, they are entirely cat-like when you see them. There is no actual evidence that these things have like snakes sprouting out of their legs, but the cat-like of these looks exactly like the cat-like of the things that you just fought.
Gotcha. Did they look like they're like if Jarek moves over closer to investigate, did they look like they would be able to get out of the wagon on their own? Are they big enough for, like to climb out of it?
Yeah, at this point they're effectively medium creatures. So those are probably somewhere larger than a house cat. Maybe like a ooh, I feel like minks. Is that something that you know, Chris? Minxes are like large but still small cats. I feel like they're kind of to me medium between a house cat and something you would see like as like a lion.
Oh, you mean like a Manx?
Oh, Manx, that might be it. Yeah.
And or a lynx, I think, is
Oh,
also.
lynx might have been what I was looking for. Yeah, but effectively these are medium-sized cats. They're like theoretically say like the size of a teenager instead of a lion is kind of like the size of a big like adult male.
Alright, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Lokat in Swedish.
But yeah, like when you eventually see these things, there's again pretty much no way you can notice them in the heart of battle because they're not predators themselves. They're still like effectively kittens. Mechanics of the game, they are non-combatants. But as far as things go, you guys have enough recognition that yes, these will become those cats. At present, they are somewhere bigger than a house cat. Maybe right now they're just bigger than a house cat, but they are effectively a medium creature right now.
So Jericho, looking back to Taryn, we do with them.
I mean, is there anything we can do with them? Do you think they can survive on their own? I'm not sure about wild animals. Yeah.
I suppose they'll pretty much have to. But let's Perhaps we simply don't think there's anything we can do to help them, or should.
Yeah, no, I think the best thing is just to leave them to their own devices.
The wagon itself, does it look like it's? I know. I think you had said it was kind of like overgrown with like the vines and stuff. So does it seem like it's been here for some time?
Yeah, I think it's sufficient to say this wagon is pretty much destroyed with time. Um, Talks about them using it as a lair. That's part of why I was thinking almost like with the idea that it's lifted up by the vines, to kind of show like they used it because it offers like a weird kind of like shade and place to walk into. It's a little more evident, say, from like the inside of this, that the wagon almost makes kind of like the ceiling of like a faux cave that these creatures seem to be walking into. Um, but other than that, like its description is that they use it as a lair. These things are the size of that wagon. So I feel like it makes sense that there's other things in play with that quote unquote lair. What were you otherwise thinking? Like, are you trying to see, like, is this a brand new wagon that the Red Wizards would have brought? Definitely not.
Okay, yeah, that was kind of my sense, but just wanted to kind of double check. But otherwise, I think yeah, Jarek's just like we should just kind of leave them be, give that wagon a wide berth, and perhaps they'll survive on their own. But at this point, let nature take its course.
Gotcha.
So he'll kind of turning back towards town, and the others will suggest that maybe we try and circle around to the other side because it looks like we've approached this from the back.
So, as far as things go here, as you all explore a little bit more around the initial area, you are going to spot that the building itself is entirely circular. It sits inside of the same kind of walls as the others. You have a little bit of a like front entry area, but realistically, this particular shrine has kind of the most like side depth to it. You can't actually walk around inside of its. What did I just do that? My bad. You can't walk around inside of the walls of this temple. It's effectively kind of like the circular nature of it fills up the actual rectangle. So there's almost like a crescent base and a crescent top. But you guys can walk around. I have to rehide that. I'm not sure how I misclicked. So, as you guys kind of go through and encircle this building, you will find that there is an entrance in that south side where you would expect. There are still pillars on the south side where you will see comedans that represent Shagambi, who is the comedian, who is the like leopard with these snakes that sprout from its shoulder blades. Uh, the temple facing you has a small entryway that is probably about like 5 or 10 feet wide, or 5 or so feet wide, and about 10 feet tall. And it very quickly becomes kind of like a tunnel that is walking down. When you approach it, you will see the staircase kind of walks down 15 feet pretty steeply. It then levels off on a platform. But that's kind of the front of it. you will very quickly see that there is indeed some Omawan here, and you guys can take some time to translate it, where you will come to, and I need to jump to that part of my notes. Entrance of this shrine. You'll be able to translate it to Shagambi teaches us to fight evil with honor. But otherwise, you guys can place yourselves on the south side of this temple. And what would you like to do?
Jarek, after kind of translating this, looking to Taryn, like, seems like we might be in for another fight, unless that front of those creatures uh, want to take the lead. Maybe there could traps in there.
All right, I'll go first and see if I can find anything.
See if I can find anything. Is that looking for traps?
Yeah, basically.
Gotcha. Roll a perception for me. Are you going with light? And is
Yep.
Jarek lighting up as well? I think this one might actually have skylights on it. Give me 1 second to look at a map that is not exploded. What were you thinking there, Justin?
Oh, I was just going to say that, yeah, I think Jarek would probably light up, depending on the light situation. If they need it, he can light up his new lantern as well.
Gotcha. So yeah, I think as you approach Chris, you will see that while this initial like entryway is somewhat like dark from just the general surroundings here, um, your eyes are going to adjust pretty quick. Light's going to help entering this place. I think for what it's worth, we can say you're lighting up the lantern, but you guys can basically see that wherever those stairs lead, there's some sort of light that is at least getting into this temple. As you guys kind of walk forward, uh, Taryn's not going to see any signs of any danger. And you guys can basically walk forward down these stairs, again, kind of descending about 15 feet. In like 5 or 10 feet, it's very steep steps where you will get down to a stone kind of base at the bottom. And from that initial base, you're going to see that there is a large room ahead of you that is all kind of lit from above. There's almost like a rectangle in the roof of this building that's all open to the sky. And as you guys look around, you can see that there are large bars in the center of this room that kind of crisscross this open floor that seems to drop into a pit. The bars are probably a couple feet or about a little less than a meter from each other and crisscross in a size that a medium or smaller creature could easily jump through or fall through these bars into the pit. There is a pedestal on the opposite side of the pit. There are 4 humanoids that are visible in the sides of these rooms, 2 on each side of the room. And then you can see there is a mural along the opposite wall of this room, as well as a opening that seems to lead down further and deeper into the ground on the northern side of this room. So you guys have the picture ahead of you now. As far as like the actual like opening above, assume kind of its brightest, almost where that rectangle is. Everything else is lit, but it's um, a little bit less direct light. But there is effectively no roof on kind of that part of this building.
Jarek would be curious as as we head in, kind of coming up to the edge of this seemingly pit. He's kind of looking down, trying to see if he sees anything or hears anything coming from below.
You can roll a perception check there as you're kind of looking down. You can see that the pit goes probably about 15 or 30 feet down. It's kind of hard to judge a lot of it, but it's a pretty solid fall. It could certainly injure you to fall through uh, those uh, those bars. It's difficult to interpret why those bars might be because they are so widely placed. You can see that there's uh, kind of two little corridors, east and west, in the base of this room. Um, if they're 10 feet tall, like the little entrance corridor, you probably are about 20 or so feet to the bottom of this pit. If they're like the height of a human, it's probably about the 30 feet. Um, yeah, smooth walls that are leading down into the pit. You could probably see with that it's not safe to try to climb down the walls, but with some climbing gear, you could kind of like belay yourself, especially off of those steel bars.
Well, for now, Jarek has little desire to go immediately into the pit. Wants to maybe take a look at the rest of this room first. Um, and then I guess with the seems to be another staircase or tunnel leading down farther. You might kind of moving around the edge of the pit, taking a look at a couple of these statues, trying to see like what exactly type of creature are they? Is there any sort of writing or plaques or any identifying characteristics?
Gotcha. And what's Taryn thinking about right now?
Terranix basically doing the same, but on the other side, yes. Looking them over, see if he notices anything
All right.
off
So
about
as
them,
you
maybe.
guys wait, what was that part?
I was thinking he was also looking to see if there was anything off about them, just
Gotcha.
making
So
sure.
as you guys just making sure.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, he's still looking for traps, so that's what he's kind of looking for. Yes, to say if there's anything like that.
Gotcha. So as you guys kind of split to those different sides, let me get a perception from each of you as you're kind of looking over these statues for um, anything kind of written on them, signs of danger, different things that you might be able to pick up here. So they don't appear to have any writing on them. As far as the statues go, they seem to be uh, humanoid. Uh, they're described as Chalton. I feel like, as far as describing what it looks like to any of us, it's kind of Aztec. These are definitely like kind of Aboriginal humans of kind of like South America style thing. But as far as things go, this is kind of what you guys have come to expect from representations of Charlton humans here. Um, as far as things go, they seem to be effectively warriors. They carry a shield and they stand with what seems like a hand that should be holding a spear, but they have nothing in their like main hand. So it's kind of not necessarily all men, but warriors. So they all stand with just one arm almost turned 90 degrees, kind of holding a shield, and the other one almost like the hand that's out on each of those is effectively the one that would be kind of holding a spear almost at like nipple height. Um, but all of them very kind of clearly you'll pick up. They seem to be missing this weapon. There's no other apparent danger to them. Doesn't seem to be anything else to manipulate about them. No traps seem to be there.
And the shields are those are made of like the same like part of the statue itself made of the same material, or they're actually separate items that they're holding.
I think the shield should be stone, as if it's a part of the statue.
So Jarek's wondering maybe if there's something to that. Thinking, uh, also thinking back to the old Amaoan, fight evil with honor, but not really sure. Got the beginnings of a thought, but not really. Wants to probably get a fuller look around, probably try and see what's down this other passageway. Um,
So as you guys move beyond those initial statues, you're going to see that kind of the mural on this opposite wall is very clearly depicting the legend and the battle between Shagambi and Nang Nang. It shows the Kubazan that is basically wrestling with this frog person who's battling it with a spear. Um, in kind of the fashion where each temple kind of skews the legend a little bit in each of its ways. The frog probably looks a little bit more like rabid and a little bit more aggressively trying to attack the Kubazan, just kind of skewing the myth a little bit more to their way. There's Old Amawan that kind of describes the myth, but that's kind of typical where you guys have found there's always a part in each temple that outlines the same myth that you've kind of had passed to you uh, from, I forget the king of the frogs' names, but the king and through Eku. The pedestal itself that stands before you, about 4 feet tall, looking over it, it seems to have a hatch in the top. You can kind of see almost an oculus where like the stone is almost kind of like that leaf shape. So if you manipulate something, it kind of shows you like the curves where you can kind of see that this like circular top will open up and kind of expand to reveal what Taryn and Jarek, everybody should be able to recognize the space that would be perfect for a cube to come out of.
what do you think, Taryn? Any ideas?
My bad. Let me get another perception check from you guys on this one as well. Taryn, as you are looking over the relief on the back, you can see that there are tiny little holes in this mosaic that seem to belie that there's a trap in this room.
All right. Well, I found one trap. See, there's like holes into. Can I tell like how big are the holes? Are they very small or does it seem like arrows or? I mean,
Um, I think it would be a size that for you could certainly identify as like a bolt, an arrow, or like a dart could be shot out of it. Um, Maybe something that's feathered more than like a blow dart. But I feel like that's one of those things where it's hard for me to necessarily determine where that is. But yeah, you'd probably see, let's call it 2 to 3 centimeters in diameter, which is effectively an inch in diameter. Oh man, it's supposed to be a con or a 15 wisdom check. Maybe they're smaller than that. Maybe I should say they're tiny and they are the size of like a blow dart. Because a 15 is a pretty difficult check. So yeah, let's say those are probably the minimum size that you could imagine a dart, but not an arrow, and probably not a bolt. I'm sorry, I'm going to correct this again because he rolled really high. Let's say that you can identify that this trap is probably something that is not a bolt. It's probably either, say, like acid is going to pour out and fill this room, or maybe some sort of gas is going to flow out of it. But there's probably something that is not a physical object is going to come from this trap. And I'm sorry, I'll stop changing the story now.
Once like Taryn kind of explains what he's found, Jarek is thinking, I imagine maybe it's triggered if we try to, you know, manipulate that hatch the wrong way.
yeah, but maybe we can plug the holes in some way. I'm not sure. Could we maybe cut up some rope and try to plug it in? Not sure how that would work. Cut up pieces of rope, try to plug it in with pitons, maybe, like hammer it in to make sure that it's really stuck in there.
Does anybody have candles? I think you're on the right idea. You could certainly put something like a rope in there. You could certainly put something like cloth in there to stuff them shut. And the part of why I ask if you all have candles is if somebody's carrying candles, you could certainly put wax in to make it a little bit better. But there's definitely the ability that you could try to plug them.
Yeah, I don't have any. Jarek doesn't have any candles. He probably would have to maybe use up some, like, kind of try and rip off some strips from like a bedroll, like cloth strips, and use those as the only I think that he'd be able to that he's carrying with him that could be potentially helpful.
Yeah, no candles on Terran either.
Um, Zeros, or not Zeros, Serge is a bard?
A ranger.
Oh, he's the ranger. Okay. My bad. Bards, I feel like are most inclined to have. Regardless, though, let's say you guys take whatever some sort of like cotton or fibrous material, and you take the time to plug those holes.
Could we check out the rest of this place before we try to open that thing, just in case there's something we're missing?
Yeah, I mean, better be safe than sorry. I mean, sure, we plugged up one trap here, but we don't know if there's any more.
Leery about what those what that pit's supposed to hold. That's supposed to keep something down there. It must be fairly big.
So, just with the thought that you guys might continue on, you would basically be standing by those as you're kind of plugging them up. You could basically, with a little bit of effort, relight your lamp or light your rings and start to see that there's another set of stairs, again, descending about 15 feet in about 5 or 10 feet, very steep again. And you can see that the hall seems to turn, or not hall, like this is more like a tunnel, starts to turn to the left at the base of the stairs. But effectively, that is outside of the light that is coming naturally. So this is where you guys will have to turn to your lights.
Yeah, Jarek's got his lantern lit up.
Yeah, and Terran's definitely got his ring lit up.
Still approaching everything cautiously.
Yeah.
Let's go for another round of perception checks here. So, carefully taking your steps down these stairs. As far as Terran's life goes, the ceiling is plenty far enough away for you, but somebody like Jarek, who's a little bit over 6 feet, he's definitely finding himself kind of ducking into this as you're kind of going down. This place is probably the lowest ceiling that you've really encountered in a lot of these places, and you get that kind of first initial levels of kind of claustrophobic feels, which I think you've got Jarek. No, wait, that's Brannick who's claustrophobic. My bad.
No, Jarek's claustrophobic.
Oh, did I have that backwards when I said it was Brannick? Excellent. I'm confused all the time. Yeah, so you'll kind of get a little bit of claustrophobic feels crawling into this place. Taryn, as you kind of get close to the actual base of this, you are going to see that there are spider webs just inside of this tunnel that will block the passage to the west pretty much as soon as you get to the base of these stairs. You're already kind of like staring into spider webs. Just gonna kind of like cut through them and start to push through.
Yeah. While commenting on, well, at least it seems we doesn't seem like anyone's been here before us.
So slowly pushing through these, you guys are going to see that there's a long hallway that starts to turn a little bit more left, a little bit more left, and this tunnel kind of is slowly going down. You can feel that your feet are always at a little bit of an angle, that you're basically walking down a ramp and getting deeper and deeper. Pretty shallow as far as what the actual curvature of it is, but you guys are going to find yourselves slowly walking around before you are going to turn uh, to the east. And as you kind of push through like some of these spider webs while you're turning to your left again, you're going to start to see again the sunlight ahead of you. You have come to the base of the pit. There is an open archway. From this side, you can see that the pit's probably closer to those like 25 or 30 feet deep, as the archway is closer to like 5 or so feet tall. Jarek, you're definitely like kind of hunched over. There would certainly be a level of walking into the pit is at least a little bit of a relief, because you can at least see the sun up above you and stand at full height. But what sort of thoughts do you all have as you have approached the left side of this pit?
Jarek is thinking, continue on. He's very clearly not too happy about being in these kind of cramped conditions. Um, when we were cutting our way through the spider webs, do we happen to notice uh, any indications of anything that had been like kind of like wrapped up cocoon kind of thing?
Um, I've got to say no. I feel like the spider webs are one of the least sensible things about this, especially with the understanding that the kobolds come to these places regularly. I don't feel like the spider webs fit into this narrative. So I don't see any reason why you would see anything that would make you think you guys are approaching a giant spider. Um, yeah, I don't think you're. I don't think you would have any inclination to worry, like about a life-size spider.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But as far as things go, just with your inclination to kind of push forward, if you're close enough, your light and the actual light of the sun above, once you guys are on that left side of the pit, you can see that the right side of the pit kind of continues this little tunnel on and beyond where the pit is. So if you make your way into the pit there, Jarek,
Yeah.
you are going to hear as there is a loud kind of clank, and then you guys are going to start to hear thumping, almost rhythmic. Thoop, 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 thoop. What are you guys thinking here?
Jarek is gonna set the lantern down and draw his second weapon. He's instinctively thinking something's coming. Um, gonna probably move more in towards the center of this pit area, keeping his eyes to the right.
Gotcha. And where are you at with this, Taryn?
Oh, Terran, after hearing those notes, would probably go in to the pit area as well. Don't want to leave. Jarek and Sarah's behind if anything's gonna happen.
Gotcha. So where are you taking this? Okay, gotcha. And where is kind of Sarish going to? Excellent. So you guys kind of have like your little flying duck formation here. Um, so over the next few moments, you guys are going to see as ahead of you down this hallway, as you are watching, there's going to be kind of a gray figure who almost shows up in silhouette, like you're looking at their right side as they face that wall to the south. And basically, you see as this figure comes up to that wall and, like a soldier, does the sidestep to turn 90 degrees where they're now facing you. And you see them start marching. While they take these steps, you're hearing that same sound of thump, 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 along the same process. It doesn't really get any quieter when they kind of make their movements to turn, and their turns, like all of their steps, are in line with that. as you will very quickly see that as they start stepping towards you, there is another of these figures who's walking up behind them, facing the wall, sidestepping to face you, and over the next few moments, there's going to be figures basically walking that same path. What is your reaction as you see kind of this first figure and then a second? What are you guys kind of thinking here?
Do they appear to be carrying weapons? Are they like armed and armored like soldiers?
You would see with the first one in silhouette, I think you would see the shield arm. And then as it turns, you would see that it is carrying a shield, kind of same general formation, just kind of in front of its chest. And as it starts to walk towards you, you would probably see that its offhand is carrying a spear. What's your initial reaction here, Taryn?
I'm thinking, Saint Yang, maybe we should back up a bit. I'm not sure if we want to fight. Still kind of hurt, but seemed to appear when we went in here, so maybe they won't follow if we move out.
And you guys see as a third rounds the corner.
I think Jarek is going to he's going to call out a not really a challenge or a greeting, but in common, just like uh, almost. I think he'll just say like you know halt, kind of readying himself in like a fighting stance kind of thing.
So, without necessarily being as creative, did you want to just narratively threaten them, like you're trying to intimidate them?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think if he because his first thought is also like, okay, maybe this is the fight with honor that we need to have, but he's not really sure, and I'm not really sure how to kind of uh, vocalize that. So I think for now he's just essentially trying to buy time, telling them to halt more to see, I guess, maybe even if they like understand or they're giving any sort of indication that they understand his speech.
Gotcha. So Terran's kind of looking to you to perhaps we need to go. You're yelling out to try to get them to halt, or at least to see any reaction from them. As they continue to walk forward, you're going to start to see as they step far enough into the light. These things don't have like a pigmentation to them. These are stone, and they're kind of walking granite. And you're going to see as a fourth one rounds that corner, and now there's basically four in a line that are all walking towards you all.
And these are carrying spears. Jarek's thinking we need these spears for the four statues above.
Yep. As far as these things look, these are effectively the same statues as what you see above. These carry a shield and a spear. The ones above you all are the same, they just lack spears. And they're gonna continue walking towards you all. The first one makes it into this room, and the moment it steps through the actual doorway into the room, its spear is going to drop point towards you all. Its shield is going to come up to the ready as its body kind of slacks down and it gets in the position to fight. Roll initiative, please. My bad, I didn't bring up the initiative. Alrighty. What would you like to do as it drops its spear to look down at you? What would Jarek like to do here?
I think Jarek is going to step forward, kind of weapons at the ready. He's going to we would fight with honor, saying it to the creature. And I think for now he's going to take the dodge. He's going to stay defensive.
Gotcha. So as you take the dodge action, it is going to I think it is going to slam forward into you with its shield. I don't think it will hit with that. As you kind of just parry it to the side, most of its weight and its force goes off and away from you with little action, and then is going to stab twice with its spear into you. So the first attack from the spear, that one should hit with a 20, and then the second attack is going to miss.
Yep, 20 definitely hits.
And it's going to do 12 points of piercing damage to you as it stabs into you with the spear. And it's going to go to Terran. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I would like to walk up, well, like go up to the one like next to Jarek here, or in front of him, and
My bad. One thing, if I can interrupt you. We skipped over Zeros. Did you do something with Zeros? Or did I just miss it?
Sorry, I was going to have him actually hold an attack in case this thing attacked Jarek. So
Gotcha. So
as
he
it
can release a oh wait, he releases 2 bolts. Because his works differently. So you can cast his I can't think of the nature of what the thing, but you can cast twice because he casts one time and there's 2 different bolts. So slam into it for what is that? 20 total force. Oh, wait, one of those is a crit, so 14.
well, he doesn't have advantage, so it would just be.
That's what I mean. The first one hit for 10. The second one hit for 4.
Yeah, so 14. Yep, sorry. Yeah.
My apologies there, Taryn. What were you thinking for yourself?
yes, going up next to Jarek and try to stab at the one in front of him, in front of Jarek, so to say. Now that we've seen that they attack.
So your first attack is going to be a solid stab into the creature, chipping away at some of the like rock sediment that creates this thing. The second one is just going to almost glide off of the stone, like a blade off of a sharpening stone. But you'll deal 19 damage to it.
And then Surge will follow up with 2 arrows.
I'm seeing a 9 and a 22. The 9's going to miss. 22 hits, and that will do 6 more to him. as it smashes into this creature, just chipping away at the stone a little bit more. I think that will take us back top of the order here to Jarek.
So now Jarek is kind of having been stabbed, is going to now retaliate, uh, stabbing out at the creature right in front of it. He's gonna be using the arming sword form.
Oh wait, see that did the sneak attack. Oh, that's what it is. It's the particular form of that one blade that is not actually starting off as a finesse weapon.
Oh,
That's
gotcha.
what's
Maybe because the
doing.
cutlass isn't normally a. I don't know, but
Yeah, whatever I started off as, it's better just to switch it so the numbers are right instead of worrying about what kind of damage that it says. So first attack will hit for 12. The second attack is going to hit for 13 as you smash into it twice. Bonus action.
yep, gonna make a short sword attack.
That one's going to hit for another 6.
And he's otherwise just kind of trying to hold his ground where he is.
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting one. You guys are definitely chunking away at stone. I don't think there's any way for you guys to predict how much damage you are doing to a stone figure as to where it is. You've definitely done some sizable and some noticeable, like solid attacks to these things, but it's really just chipping away at chunks of stone. Hard for you guys to grasp where it's at. What would Zeros like to do? I think just dropping 2 more bombs.
Yep. So he's kind of sliding along the edge, trying to get a little bit closer, but still, keeping some distance. And yeah, launching 2 more eldritch blasts into the same creature. I think those will both miss though, 9 and 11.
Yeah, both of those are going to miss. So the next creature to go is the one that's already battling. It's gonna go. Yeah, I think it's going to step through the two of you as its shield bashes into Serge. That will miss, and then it is going to do the same as 2 spear attacks, quickly following. This might be the end of Serge. So the first spear is con save 11 from Serge. So he's good, and then he's going to lose another one because the other one is going to be. Oh, wait, no. I think you can save this if you roll a crit. It is. What is it? 7, 14, 18. One more con save. This is a con 18 to save this damage. So he'll lose another as his 5th wound is gone. I believe that means Serge should have one more wound keeping him alive right now. The next gladiator that's kind of stepping in behind is going to drop its spear as it steps through, and it is going to go for. It will go towards Zeros. Terran, it's going to walk into and beyond your range. If you would like to react, you can stab at it here.
And I will.
That will hit, so you're going to do 11, 20 damage.
Wait, do I still get the sneak attack?
That's why it matters most. You can only sneak attack once a turn. Not once around. Every
Oh,
single turn, you can sneak attack.
that is good.
So it is going to step past as it kind of gets stabbed, ignoring it's going to go to Shield Bash Zeros. 15 hit Zeros.
Yep, he's only AC 13.
Gotcha. So Shield Bash is going to deal a Con 9 save, and then I need a Strength saving throw from him as well. And then shield or spear. Oh yeah, I'm gonna knock you prone there. So he'll attack with advantage here. So that first one will be the 10-17. This is really just fishing for a crit. The second one will hit as well, as he's going to spear into you. What is it? 2 more con saves from you, please. These are con 11. So he'll fail that second one. So he is prone and lost 1 wound. And then I think we should go to Terran.
Oh, Terran will turn around and try to attack the one which he's previously attacked before, the one who went through him and Yarrick to attack Surge.
So bam, bam, 2 more attacks into it, dealing 18, 21, 27 damage. And then what would Serge like to do?
Surge, being kind of trapped in the corner, will try to lose 2 arrows into the one closest to him.
Gotcha. So his attacks here will be at disadvantage.
That's a 8 and a 10.
It doesn't really give him another attack, right? Like those guys, it says they only have the one option.
Yeah, action is a longbow.
Yeah. Okay. Neither of those would hit, even if he didn't have disadvantage here. But I feel like on some level, for the ranger at least, let's consider his weapon whether he can make short or long range attacks with it. Doesn't make as much sense with somebody like, say, a Zeros, who's an actual caster. Well, even he's a warlock, so maybe we could say he can do it. But I feel like at very least a ranger, it would make sense if he had a sword and a longbow. So for the future, let's kind of keep that in mind, that he can make sword attacks. But again, those numbers wouldn't hit anyways. Is he going to do any movement? Otherwise, it will go to Jarek.
No movement.
Gotcha. So in the sidelines, the others of these things are still like marching forward. It's as they're entering this room that they are entering combat with you guys. But Jarek, what would you like to do here?
Yeah, so Jarek is going to turn and keep stabbing at the one that forced its way past him over to Serge, which I think is the one he was fighting for.
Gotcha. Yep, that one in the south is well chunked up. It is certainly taking plenty of damage from all of you. Solid crit here. $14 damage from that.
Oh, and I guess did that roll the crit or the sneak attack on that one?
Yes, it did. Yep. The sneak attack is
Gotcha.
the right side. You just rolled a 2 and a 1 with it, sadly.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep, stabbing out again.
That one will be a solid hit as well. And then short sword.
Yeah, he's gonna make that one a distracting strike.
Gotcha. What is that? An extra D8, and then that gives advantage to the next person who is not you.
Correct. Before I think the end or the start of Jarek's next turn. Yeah. So it just has to be within this, round.
So I think you got a total of 26 there.
And then short sword bonus action.
So as you are smashing into this creature, like stabbing into and through this, each of these stabs are just chunking off massive chunks of metal or stone, to where as you're going at it with one of these final strikes, just one of your hits, just as mundane feeling as the next, is all of a sudden just going to hit like a heartstone, where there's just a little resonation that kind of pings through the air, and this thing is going to shatter and fall to the ground, just as like gravel. Very few of the pieces are large enough to show any signs that it ever resembled life. That creature is going to fall to the ground dead.
And Zeros, meanwhile, is going to scramble up from being knocked down. Seeing this thing right in his face, is going to. I think he's
Still
going
with
to
the same idea. If you'd like, he can make sword attacks. They can't be the same as his Eldritch Blast, like damage dice wise, but you could make a normal attack that's, say, like a long sword, so like a D8, if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think he would, being now in melee range.
So I'd say if you want to do it like that, just roll a D20, and then a D8 for damage. And I think a longsword is strength based. So does he have a strength modifier? Probably not.
Nope, he's just regular strength +0, so it would just be the D8.
Gotcha. What is his proficiency bonus right now, though? Is it
Imagine it'd be a +3, right? 6th level.
6th level is +3, and he has no strength modifier, so that should be a 15. That's going to miss. But he can make. No, warlocks don't get an extra attack. Yeah, so I think that would be it.
Yep.
I'm not sure if that one's as good, but we'll kind of see with that in the future if you guys continue to care for that like idea. That one is going to. That's looking at Terran. I think it is just going to kind of stepping through, shield bash out at Terran. That should hit. It is going to deal 7 bludgeoning damage to you, Terran, and I need you to make a strength saving throw, please. And it's going to stab out with its spear. You are going to fall prone, so its spear attack will be at advantage. 13 misses,
Yes, it does.
and then it's going to crit you. And this is going to stab into Terran for.
Can I just asking before uncanny dodge? Can I use that even if I'm prone?
Uncanny dodges any attack that you can see coming at you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can uncanny dodge.
Oh,
It's going to be
but
for
no,
19.
wait. I can't, right? Because I have used my reaction. Haven't I? Or was that last turn? I am mixing
I
myself
think you
up.
use your reaction right before your turn, because it
Right.
was the
That I can.
gladiator that was on 13, on initiative count 13. It's step. No, wait, it was the one that just attacked. It's the one that was attacking you now. So yeah, you took your turn because you go right after this one.
All right. Yeah, just making sure because I got confused myself there. Then I'm gonna
So
uncanny
it's going to
dodge.
do 19 damage, which if you half it is 9 damage.
So I live. Woo!
And then that's one at 10. That's going to go to Terran. So again, you'll get your reaction back like right now, anyways. So you kind of have that again. As weird as it is, that's kind of an ideal time to use it. Is right before it comes back.
Well, going up after falling prone, I'm just gonna maneuver myself to the other side of it here. I am hurt, and then I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take one stab at it, I think. And how did we say fast hand that I could use like a potion with a bonus action?
Yeah, you
Or
can bonus action a potion.
yeah, because then I'm gonna stab once and bonus action a potion.
So I forgot Zeros would have had advantage, but he's going to miss anyway. That was that next d20 I just rolled.
No, you killed that creature that had the advantage.
Oh, God. Okay, yep, you're right. Never mind.
Yeah, it was that blow that was the killing blow on it.
Gotcha. Yep.
That's crapshoot for a healing potion, but okay, that's 2 1s.
Gotcha. Yeah, so step through, that's going to miss. You can definitely quaff the potion, and then it is on Serge to make his attacks. Same idea. He can effectively bow or longsword, but you can make your bow shots here. I think that's an 8 on the first one. The second one is a 17. That is their AC. That is a just hit, and it's going to deal 10 to it. Without any movement, which you are welcome to make, the next creature that steps into the room, dropping its shield, or dropping its spear down to action, is going to step past. It is going to go for the same, where it is going to shield bash at Zeros. This one will hit for a DC 9 con save, and then I need a strength saving throw after that. He's going to fall prone, and it will be the same where these next two attacks are going to both have advantage. Wrong guy marked prone. So the first attack into him should hit with a 16, and then the second attack should hit with a 17. So it is a 2 con 11 saves for those two attacks. That'll take 1 wound. I think he's got 2 missing.
Yep, he's down to 4 now.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I was counting up with those with their orange. That will take us then back to top of the order at Jarek.
Right, so Jarek is still turning and stabbing at the one between him and Taryn here.
Solid hit. Dealing 10. Second one's going to miss.
And short sword.
Solid hit as well. So we've got a total of 10, 19 damage.
Yep. Yeah, I think he's gonna again just kind of hold his ground, as I think Zeros is going to again scramble to his feet, and this time I think, given that he's not been wielding a sword much, he's going to just instinctively throw out his hands and cast an Eldritch Blast, trying to hit the one below him.
Gotcha. So while you're doing that, the next one is moving into the room.
Jeez. Yeah,
Ouch.
those both missed.
3 1s. The next one's moving in. It is going for. I rolled a 3 as Terran. It is going to try to shield bash into Terran. Will hit. This does 9 bludgeoning and a strength saving throw from you, Terran.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. First, I'm just gonna use my reaction to do my dodge thing. I forget what it's called now.
Gotcha. Have that to 4 damage. You are able to maintain onto your feet. It's going to stab out with its spear. 16 hits.
It does.
That's going to do 15 piercing damage to you.
Yeah, I am down.
The moment Terran goes unconscious, it's going to. That's Terran again. Should have rolled the d6. It's going to spin on Serge, and the next spear is going to go into Serge. That should miss with a 10. And it will go to the one between the 3 of you there. This is going to. Let's see. It's going to step away from Jarek and Zeros as it moves over to Serge.
Yep, Jarek and Zeros will both attack it as it's moving away.
So do the longsword attack again with Zeros on this one. That will hit. You'll do 12. And then from Zeros, we said he has a +3, so 14 will miss.
Yep.
And as this one steps across, it is going to. This one was fresh. Shield against Serge, miss. One spear attack against Serge. Can you make a DC 11 con save with Serge, please? All right. So I think that's going to drop Serge, where it is going to move back and attack Jarek with the final attack here. Should hit. It is going to deal 8 piercing damage to you with that attack. This one is immediately going to Terran now. Seems silly to just avoid Justin, but can you switch to Whisper to me and roll death save, and then we'll follow that with the death save theoretically for Serge.
Yeah, let's see if I can do this right.
It probably would just be easier if you switched to the Whisper in roll 20 and just rolled normal d20 because you're about to roll 2 of them. Gotcha. So one rolled, and then if you click it on your character again, just make sure it doesn't record it on you. But you could roll Serge's that way too. And then this is the gladiator north of Jarek. It is going to try to knock Zeros down with the shield. 16 hits him.
Zeros, yep.
So this is the two saves: a con 9 for the bludgeoning damage, and then a strength saving throw to follow. So he'll fall prone, and then it's going to attack him with the spear. 11 will miss. That one will hit, and that one is the con 11 saving throw, please. So he'll lose another. If you keep track of that, I'll stop at the orange. And then that one is going to start your turn back off. So it is back to Jarek.
All right, so Jarek, seeing Terran go down, seeing Serge go down, not looking to do good himself. I think he's just going to keep hacking away at the I think it was the one between him and Serge that had already been kind of taken some damage.
Yes, that is correct. The one in the center currently. Wait, my bad. The one in the center is the one that I have damage on.
Oh, between me and Taryn. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Jarek will be kind of like, hang on, Taryn, but he's just trying to stab into this thing again.
First one's a solid hit. The second one's going to miss. Short sword's a solid hit. 18 total damage.
Yep. And Zeros again getting back up to his feet. Yeah, he'll just stab out with his blade at the same one. 13 will miss though.
Alrighty. Let's see. The next one of these. All right, we're about to do 3 of them. We roll for which one stacks. So they'll stack up on Zeros. So let's roll here for this first one. It's against Jarek. Shield bashing you should hit. Let me get a strength saving throw from you. And it's going to hit you for 11 there. Is that dropping you?
Yep, that knocks him down.
So theoretically, with 3 of them circling up on Zeros, they are going to knock him out as well. And all of you are going to go unconscious inside of this room. So, having had a dangerous little fight there, let's take a quick little break because I want to confirm that I was supposed to send all 4 of these at you at the same time and not one after another. And let's pick back up at 45 after, 15 till.
Yep, sounds good.
All right.
If I was supposed to send one of those one after the other, I think you guys could have fought it pretty simply. I'm pretty sure it was meant to be all of them walk out at the same time. But I just wanted to kind of confirm. I see no reason that these things would be aiming to kill you. So I see no reason why eventually you guys couldn't have the rest of the group kind of wake up and notice you kind of thing. So still relatively kind of in break mentality here. I am tempted to basically say that maybe we should have like each of you roll like D100. And basically that represents the idea of when one of you would roll for Eku, one of you would roll for Island. Effectively, either of you being successful is success for both of them. But to basically see, we would consider it quite literally a count of turns, how long before they show up. Because you guys really need to be on death saves here. So part of what I was thinking is, Taryn, you basically have 2 turns that you have. Realistically, you would need like a 1 or a 2 for either of the healers to show up before you have to take the second death save. You would need a 1 for it to be soon enough that you do not have to take your second one that could be your death if you rolled a 1 right now. with either of them. But I think that's kind of the way to play like the healers. Have you guys do your death saves, and then otherwise we'll kind of move on seeing how those go. Assuming you guys do your death saves properly and the healers are not technically here, I at least have in mind and understand what happens like to you guys in this room. So I think let's start with some probably pretty important D100s. You guys are essentially looking for ones. So I think 9 as well is effectively completely useless as well, because you're going to have to take all your death saves and you'll know before that can arrive. So I don't think there's any reason to have these hidden. Taryn has effectively 1 failed death save, and Serge effectively has 1 failed death save. Can I have each of you basically rolling 2 of these for what it's worth? I think rolling 2d20. You don't have to make these hidden. First one is your character. Second one is your sidekick. We basically have to go through the death saves. All right. Fucking Serge following Taryn is creepy. No ones, but Taryn could use that 20.
They're just very loyal, if nothing else.
Oh, wait a second, though.
So if Jarek
Jarek's
comes to, he can
standing on
stabilize Taryn.
his turn, but what turn is that? Jarek,
That was his
your
second.
19 is the same time as his 5. That's him with 2 failed death saving throws. No, Jarek, you're not going to. Oh, wait, yeah, you rolled a 20, so you actually wake up. When you wake up, you. Okay, this works out good. You are going to wake up. You are standing, you are on the ground in the same room with these statues. They all have their spears trained on you right now. What are you going to do? You are prone on the ground.
He is going to kind of move to hold up his hands, and I think he's going to say, "We yield," hoping that that fight with honor maybe means they won't slaughter helpless foes, because he's not sure kind of what state the others are in. He's not obviously not going to be able to. Yeah, I think he's just being like, we yield.
Roll a. I'm looking more for the die, but I think. What's your dexterity saving throw? Is that a plus
+4.
7? Plus 4?
Yep, I'm
Okay.
not proficient.
Roll me either a perception check or a dexterity saving throw. I'm curious to see, like, you have those 2 different options. Like, how fast are you going to react to something, or how well do you see something in this instant?
Yeah, I'll go with the dexterity.
Gotcha. So as you wake up, you notice these things basically snapping into attention. As you move, none of these things are moving. You are not currently in combat. So I'll give you that you basically are recognizing these things are ready to fight you, but they have not moved as you stand up, as you start to talk. There is no movement from these things in the least bit. They otherwise seem like statues. I feel like that would be a stark difference from watching them like come in as soldiers to as things have changed in this situation. Their lifelikeness is completely like dichotomous to when they are still. And these are different creatures right now.
Yeah, so Jarek will kind of seeing this will kind of try to get to his feet. Um, he's going to not move to retrieve his weapons at this point. He is going to instead try to move his way over to Taryn, try to stabilize him.
How are you looking to move there? What are you kind of thinking here?
If he can, essentially, kind of like try and step over Zeros and move here to start.
Gotcha. You're going to basically watch as these figures are going to effectively follow you. I don't think while anybody's unconscious, there's anything that keeps me from being able to do this, but we're gonna have it basically stand over Zeros, and they basically follow you like right into position.
So Jarek is going to. Is he able to? Are they essentially blocking his access to Taryn?
For what you would basically notice, they kept the same distance from you. Like almost as you move, they are holding you in the exact same position. I'd say
Gotcha.
on some level, maybe you watch their bodies get kicked. But my main point is that these things are, I don't know, that's fine. What are you thinking as you are approaching him, though?
Yeah, I think Jarek is going to move to still kind of eyeing these things warily as they follow him, but he's going to lean down and try to save Taryn, stabilize him.
Go for
I don't think I used the healer's kit on Taryn before.
it. I have that note. If you give me 1 second to bring it up. I feel like it was you and Island who you used it on last session.
Yeah,
Still the
definitely
same
used it on
day.
myself.
I've got Zaps and Jarek healed by medkit.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you can heal him there. And I think they're going to basically do the same where they will essentially kind of adjust to now keep him under the spear tip.
And then if he.
So for what that is worth, though, that'll be another death save on both of your characters here. So death save for I think that was just Sarish dying.
Yeah, it was. Holy fuck. Oh, that's the crappiest
At
death
least it
saves I've
wasn't
done.
Taryn dying. Um yeah, and then that's two. You technically have a chance to go before Zeros going, so you could get him here. But basically, yeah, I think that's the stuff that needs to be in micro time.
So that was actually Zeros' third, so he should be stable.
Oh, that was 3 from Zeros for you? You must have got ahead, I feel like.
It was
Because Taryn had
third.
1 round ahead on you.
Oh, when I rolled my second with Jarek to get him up to 20, that 17 is for Zeros. And then I think
No,
Taryn's
but what
second
I
was.
mean is I think you got 1 ahead. But yeah, that's fine. I don't think your roll would have come until later, though.
Gotcha.
Right? Am I not seeing that correctly? I only see Chris's first roll on here like openly, was the 2 5s.
Yeah, I had one. Let's see. Yeah, because Jarek went first, I think, because of his. I think we did it in initiative order, or what the fuck? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see why you guys were doing it like that. So that way it's not necessarily ahead. It's just yours is just blankly there. Jarek. Yeah, that works out in the initiative order. Okay. My bad. I got confused there. So when you guys are coming to here, these creatures are not hostile. They are holding you at the spear tip. They will basically adjust again in the same way where now they're actually fills up the block where they're basically holding each of you at a spear. What are you all thinking as you're kind of being saved by Jarek? What is Jarek doing after he saves Zeros? I guess on some level you'll move across the room and check and see that Serge has indeed expired. They'll kind of train across you in the room. For what it's worth, they'll do as much as possible to hold like that phalanx with you, where they are kind of protecting themselves. But otherwise, they keep each of you at a spear tip here.
Yeah, so Jarek, well, yeah, would go to check on Surge, see he is too late, kind of turn to Taryn and just kind of give a shake of his head, looking back towards these creatures. Um, he's gonna look back towards the way they came. Is it the way still open?
Yep, nothing has changed in this room. As far as you guys are looking at here, you guys are like still with that open hallway. I revealed the whole map because it doesn't really matter much here, but you guys can still see basically to the end of that hallway ahead of you with the lamp. I think the lantern probably is a little shy of it, but effectively you guys can see straight through each side of this.
So
Let me
Jarek
get
is
perception checks from both of you, please. So, looking around the room, you see the three of these figures are all still holding still. As far as the rest of the room goes here, by Serge's body, there is one of the spears remains of the creature that otherwise shattered.
yeah, so Jarek is he's going to kind of look towards the creatures again, kind of almost gonna like give a nod like in concession. With we yielded, you've defeated us in a fair fight. We are not yeah, he's not really sure what to say. Look towards Taryn. It's like what now?
When you're speaking to these creatures, they don't seem to be reacting. Once again, this is back to that eerie sense of they are standing still like a statue. If you're speaking to them, that's one of those moments where you might not be moving, and it really shows through that as long as you're standing still, they are effectively holding like statues. Do you do you have any thoughts on what Taryn is thinking right now?
Yeah, I was just thinking myself like, but would probably be like, I think we should just try to get out for now at least. I am not liking our chances if they decide to get hostile again.
Jarek is going to kind of give a small nod, but then he's looking towards where he had left his weapons when he went down, and not willing to leave those behind. He's going to attempt to move towards them, reach down, and pick them up.
Kind of being cautious enough where I feel like you could take the dodge action to approach them if you would like to, versus if they attacked you and you were hoping to attack with them. That might be a little different than being able to do that.
No, at this point, I think he's trying to retrieve them, but he has no intention of trying to rekindle the fight if he can avoid it. So yeah, he would be more kind of keeping an eye, hoping to dodge any spears if they suddenly come back to life and attack again.
Gotcha. Sounds good. So trying to do that as you approach, and they, I guess, really it would be the same experience of they are uniformly keeping you all under those same spears. So there's almost a level that there's a point where the one that's holding the spear on you is holding it to Jarek, and then as you move across Terran, it's going to quickly shift to Terran when the other one that was on Terran switches to you and then switches to Zeros. It's going to like wave across as these things are following you, but there's otherwise no change. The moment you pick up the hilt, returning your blade to yourself, you're still, they're just kind of holding you in this eerie stillness. When you guys go to leave this room, are you going to take the body of Serge?
Jarek doesn't want to leave Serge behind, but he's looking towards that spear that was dropped by the one statue that they destroyed. He'd almost like kind of be like he'd offer to, if he has Zeros and Terran kind of attend to the body, he is going to stay behind and he's going to see, he wants to try and reach for that spear that was left.
Gotcha. So you start off having them basically start to take Serge away, and you're holding in that same area, like waiting for them, kind of.
Exactly, hoping to get if they attack, then he'll essentially serve as a.
So you're going to have a similar wave here as these soldiers are holding you all under spears, adjusting as they move down towards perhaps Jarek's moving up north. It doesn't matter, but the feeling is still that same kind of eerie feeling as one person is that target and they're just switching their spear tips between you. And eventually, as they start to pull the body out, all three are going to narrow down on Jarek. And, regardless again where your position is, they're basically all three keeping you at that same distance. But the others can pull out the body of Serge. And then if you start to approach the spear, they'll all shift down, go to pick it up. They're all still holding you at the spear. You go to step out of the room.
Yes.
And they just hold right at the edge of the room, spears down. The moment you step out of the room, their spears will go towards the ceiling, and then they are going to basically march to a corner.
Jarek is kind of looking towards Taryn at this, and they seem to be perhaps they're simply meant to keep anyone from proceeding past into the next corridor. Not sure we'd be able to get past them unless we tried going in, send one of us through and see if we can pass beyond. But if they attack us again, I think we're likely finished. We could return to the room above, and if we put this, it'll kind of hold the spear. We could, if we put this in one of the statues, see what happens if they're still up there.
Yeah, let's do that. I think they're more like seemed like more like kind of a gladiatorial challenge to me. Sure, there's anything actually behind where they came from. They seemed more, in essentially, what I'm trying to say is they seem more the objective than anything inside where they came from. Because you remember, statues upstairs seem to be missing spears, and they have spears. Think they're part of the puzzle.
So you guys can make your way, taking Sayers with you, making your way back up this slow incline up to the stairs. It's easy enough to carry someone up those stairs. It's not easy enough. It's tricky, but you guys can manage it. You're skilled enough to do that. It's definitely the type of thing where it's like an extra level of danger because of how crazy that tunnel is. The like slight height for Jarek, the steepness of the stairs. Make your way back up to the top here. You can put the spear into one of these hands, and it will fit through the stone. The spear was meant to go there, as far as it would seem, and this statue holds its spear, but otherwise doesn't have any significant change to it.
The Jericho turn back towards Taryn. I imagine we'd need all four. Not sure how we're going to get them at this point.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way I could steal them from him. So yeah, I think our only option there is fighting them for their spears.
Unless there was some way to get them to disarm, but they don't seem to respond to any talk. And just he's just thinking of the Shagambi teaches us to fight evil with honor. Not sure these things may not be evil. They're seem to be serving some sort of guardian or testing function.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those things where it's kind of a little bit of like the religious saying as well. The idea that Shagambi was like wronged by Nang Nang, like arming herself. I feel like that's kind of like the level of where you might see the test is the honor. The idea is like fighting Nang Nang is like the evil. My bad. I could have hidden that behind a religion check. My apologies. But I feel like that's something to kind of see there.
Yeah, so Jarek is gonna looking towards the pedestal and towards Taryn. Think it's worth trying to open it. You don't have four spears.
Well, I mean, we did seal off the one trap. I could possibly try to just break in, try to get the cube out that way. If yeah,
The not foreboding DM dropping a healer.
What do you think, Taryn?
I mean, sure, I can take a shot, see if it works, but be wary for more traps.
So you've already kind of looked over this mechanism earlier. Let me have you do an investigation check here. So over like 10 or so minutes of kind of painstakingly looking across this contraption without taking any effort to like break into it, but simply looking at what the mechanism is that seems to open this oculus to present this like circular opening that again is like the perfect size for one of these cubes. You can see that there is some level of a mechanism that is there and like shows how it expands, but as you look there are like I don't know how you would see necessarily a redundancy in the plan, but things that kind of show you that there are mechanisms that trigger and move along this reaction. So as you start to maybe move a little bit of it, it's going to start to move extra things. And you can essentially tell that this is indeed trapped. If you try to mess with it, you're probably going to set off that trap that you guys have uh, dealt with earlier. If you would like to go into it further and try to break into it and trust in the trap, you most certainly can.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell everyone else excited that I can give a warning. Maybe it would be safer if I'm the only one here, if I have to trigger a trap.
So you can get everybody move away, whether they're heading to the other side of the room or out of the temple entirely. Um, well up to them. But when you go to eventually trigger the trap, you can start to manipulate it, and any amount of force doesn't seem effective. You get to a point where you feel like you're going to start damaging things to go any further, and there's going to be a point before that where you would start to notice that there's like the sound of like gurgling liquid, and you can kind of see like all of those points where you've put in little pieces of fabric or pieces of rope to seal up those tiny little holes. All of those are just seeping with kind of like a dark greenish, almost oily purple ooze at those points. And you can just kind of hear this like boiling, like the bubbling. Um, the trap is like going off, but it's for now uh, deactivated or safe. But you're like looking at it while you're manipulating this, not getting anywhere, and just seeing that it's activating that trap. What does Taryn think?
Not ready to give up just yet, so he's gonna. Not sure if it's gonna help anything, but he's gonna grab a crowbar and basically try to brute force it in any way he can.
Gotcha. Let me get a strength check or athletics. Yeah, strength or athletics. I think I said you've got athletics. Well, yeah, crowbars are at advantage, so yeah, do it at advantage. So you're going to spend another few moments here, maybe a minute to 5 minutes, where you're just trying to get the crowbar into place on this thing, where you feel that it's going to actually actuate something. Just struggling every time you do put a little bit of strength into it, where the crowbar is just going to pop loose at kind of the worst possible moment. And you're just going to continue on to this where you finally get one time where you're torquing with it as hard as you can, and then the crowbar is going to pop off. Doesn't seem affected in the least bit. Still, those things are just boiling at the around the mural of Shagambi and Neng Neng as the trap is going off.
All right, I'm done here now. I'm not getting this open. So yeah, I'm not taking any more chances with the trap, seeing as it is going off, even if it's not affecting me at the moment.
So, what sort of thoughts do you all have as, say, Taryn and you all together, like, spend about 15 minutes coming to terms with this pedestal doesn't seem to be something that you can manipulate, and it is indeed trapped. The trap doesn't seem harmful right now, but what are you all thinking here?
Jarek is thinking probably the only way. Um, the only way that we're going to be able to bypass it is to maybe, he still thinks that having 4 spears like set in those statues is probably what might be needed. But unless we essentially try to retreat and return pressure, try again, he's kind of out of ideas.
Gotcha. Would you all want to short rest? Um, what level of preparation before you would try this again? Would you just want some healing from Echo? Um, I'm always hesitant to make a DMPC like super important, but with Island out, would you guys try it with a short rest and Echo with you? Would you do it with like Echo's healing just right now? You know what I mean? Like, where are you guys kind of at that? What level of next time you try it?
Yeah, I think we need at least a short rest, possibly some healing from Echo as well.
How does that sound? How does that sound to you, Chris? And also, how far away would you be to having a sidekick in mind?
Sorry, what do you mean with having a sidekick in mind? About like how ready I have a sidekick, or?
Yeah, do you have the name and do you know what kind of class they would be? Or subclass, even? Class, subclass?
Yeah, I mean, I have it's actually like a backup character for another game. So it's yeah, basically it's a fighter warlock type, but I could go like with a straight up fighter only.
Yeah,
Battlemaster.
like do the main class. If it's a dual class, consider this kind of while they're main class. So fighter mostly.
Yep.
I think I can just give you access to Island Sidekick that is effectively the fighter. Where would you guys want to take a short rest? Do you want to try within the temple? Do you want to go somewhere else? Do you want a view of Omu?
I mean, those things don't seem to be, they don't seem like they're leaving the thing. So we could just, Jarek would suggest we could just try and rest here within the temple. Unless you think that crap might still be going off if we head out, maybe to one of the other buildings that we've in this area that we looked at but found was not a
I think
temple.
he could check and see that there is certainly like a level of messing with the pedestal causes it to go off for a certain amount of time, letting letting up on it. Those things would stop bubbling. You'd still be able to see signs effectively of something being released that was plugged up there.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So in that case, he thinks maybe we could just try and rest here.
Yeah, I mean that seems fine.
My bad, I didn't mean to click that. You now have access to, under the Allies, the copy of Killino Ferguson. Um, and you could call that your new character. When you get a picture for them, you can drop that in as the avatar. But right now, that is accessible to you where you can use that as the fighter.
Let's see. How did you change the? It's on edit, right? Because I actually have picture and
Yeah, I
everything.
think if you just click on it and go to edit, you should be able to. But when you guys are ready here, you can do that short rest. Um, my bad. Justin was saying he thinks it's pretty safe here. You guys are effectively inside of a place that is pretty still, with everything kind of going about. Just like anywhere, I would roll for some things to possibly happen. But in the long run, yeah, this feels like a safe enough place. Um, but if you guys are ready, let me just have you guys just roll this real quick. Um, yeah, I don't think you're gonna end up having anything. You guys can have this short rest. Take some hit dice if you would like to use them. Determine if you want Eku to do any healing on you versus if you want Eku to be a part of that fight. And decidedly, then we will go when you guys are good to go there. Is that everyone for you, Jarek?
That is all of them. Yeah, he was looking pretty bad, so he had to go all out. The nice thing is he does get his second wind back as well after a short rest.
Right, you guys went into that after fighting Shagambi, or not Shagambi, the Froghemoth earlier, right? You did
Yeah,
not rest after that.
yeah, we probably should have tried to. Um, yeah, probably should have tried to rest after that, maybe. But and then how do like the hit dice work with the sidekicks in terms of resting? Do they just um
Oh man, I feel like they are meant to be so easy that I think their rests are meant to be they can burn their hit dice, which are theoretically just they get them all back. I think it's the same idea that you would keep track of them on a long rest. But in general, I think they are meant to be simply just like for ease of use.
gotcha? Yeah, so Zeros would burn 5 to get himself back up to.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Chris, are you now at all of them burnt as well? Yeah.
Yeah, that I am.
So are you guys over 50% here?
I am full health now.
Okay.
Jarek is over 50. Yep.
All right. So do you guys feel better going into that fresh? That you want to go into it with the four of you? Or do you want to take Echo?
I mean, I think if we might want Eku more for support, not so much to fight, but she can. Could she have? Does she have bless?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can bless you with her.
So I mean, I think she'd probably have to be kind of with us, but I'm thinking not have her actually fighting, more just trying to be a support. But it is a fairly enclosed space if we return there. So I don't know. What do you think, Taryn?
Just out of character, I honestly feel like I want to try without Eku, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm good with that. And we hopefully are only facing three of them this time.
Gotcha. So yeah, you guys can go about your rest. For what it's worth, Eku can bless you from up here. So you guys can go in there with each of you blessed. And between the two of you, you can decide which one of your helpers gets the bless action. I can't bless four people with her. I can bless four people with her, actually. No, she doesn't have the ability to scale up. She just has lots of cast and bless. So yeah, you guys can take three of those. For what it's worth, Chris, let's say that Orvix had a helper, and your new sidekick was one of the. Yeah, she looks like she's a fighter. She can be one of their mercenaries that Orvex had. Um, but you have your backup. You guys can head back down there. When you go into this room, when you step into it, they are going to drop their spears, pointing at you. They are holding basically their corners, but we'll just basically go for you guys can tell me how you're entering, and we'll enter on initiative basically.
I mean, in terms of bless, I think it makes probably more sense for the Terran sidekick to get it than for Zeros to have it. I think Jarek would be, offering to essentially take the lead coming in, um, entering back into that kind of the arena, for lack of a better word. Zeros staying near the back.
Yeah, Quinn would probably be following closely behind Yarrick, and then Taryn would be just after her.
Gotcha. I think it's meant to be a 10-foot wide hallway. Are you guys walking in there side by side? Or do you think two fighters and then the two support in the back?
I think maybe like Jarek and Quinn at the front, and then Taryn, and then Zeros behind Taryn.
Gotcha. As they snap to attention, uh, is Jarek, what are you doing as they kind of snap their spears down to you?
Yeah, this time I think he's just going to he'll like point towards the, kind of gesture towards the nearest one and be like to the others, like, focus one at a time. And I think he will just have his weapons out and ready and go ready in to start swinging.
Gotcha. Oh shit, I didn't drop the initiative thing. There we go. Throw that initiative up. Uh, and basically, this is just going to be as you all step in. I think for what it's worth, you guys are in a good enough situation where you should not block anyone. If you had to step through like with Terran first, yeah, it would just be kind of difficult terrain to squeeze. But otherwise, I think like the door can easily be walked through for Jarek. or your sidekick without it being difficult for them. All right. So, Jarek, you're going to start this off, so you can move and go and get into the room. And you said you're just kind of holding off for the others and telling them to basically attack one. Are you holding an action? Are you trying to dodge? What are your thoughts like? Or are you just trying to like give almost battle orders to the others?
Yeah, I think he's just giving giving orders to the others. Um I think he will. Yeah, I think he's gonna hold basically hold an attack for either no, I can't say for either. For the first of these to attack the party, he will attack.
Alrighty. So I think you are going to. Yeah, I think the first one that is going to start to move otherly in this situation is going to be the one in the northeast is going to start to walk up to you, spear down, and it's going to go for attacks on you. So I think you would respond to that, and you can take that reaction.
No sneak, obviously.
Yeah, so it is going to come up to you. Shield bash, 16 misses you right now.
Just misses, yep, with the
17.
dual wielder bonus, yeah.
And then spear, that one should hit with the 21, and then a 20 should hit.
Yep, both those hit.
And these are for 11 and then 11 piercing as it stabs just foop, foop. And then it will go to
Oh, and I guess Zeros would have been kind of holding similarly, like.
yeah, my bad. I keep forgetting about having them like that. You can have him do his attack. You can place him in there wherever you would like, or is he holding to the hallway?
I mean, depending on if he can get a decent enough view, he'll probably be holding out here.
I'd say on some level he can only see straight through the room, but if you keep him out there, you can certainly blast into that guy who steps up behind Jarek. You would not have been able to see the one that is in the hallway right now, or that's in the like south side of that room, though.
Gotcha. So you can kind of see like the So I think he will just loose an Eldritch Blast of the one to the northeast of Jarek.
Shit damage, but what is that? 5? How come the one is so perfectly clear? Oh, because it's highlighted green as well. 5 damage. just kind of like two massive blasts that don't really seem to affect the stone much at all. And then another one is going to step up from the south, and it's going to go for the same here of a shield bash, and then spear, and then a spear. So 15 and then 21 here.
That's enough to drop Jarek, actually.
So as he steps into the room, yeah, I think their spears are going to basically turn up to the ceiling, and it's going to go to you, Taryn. Oh, I think your voice was really low there. Did your mic get like twisted?
Yeah, is this better?
Yeah, that's much better.
All right. Well, seeing our wonderful plan just go to shit with Jared dropping immediately, it's gonna go. Yeah, fuck this, and try to go in. Basically, no weapons up, and see if he can get and drag Garrick back out in the corridor. Cautiously going and see if they point the
What's
stairs with me.
your movement? You have 25 movement, so that's 15 feet to get to him.
Oh right, I actually have less. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So if you go to drag him, you're at 25 feet to get him 5 feet towards the door. So I think that's your normal movement is used to get to there if you're trying to drag him out of the room.
Yeah, and then yes, for good measure, they didn't seem to remember that they didn't seem to keep attacking after someone had been dropped and then getting up
Well, I
again.
guess that's actually enough that you would have actually seen them drop their spears to your face, and then as you step right back outside of the room, their spears would go back to the ceiling. It's kind of in the same moment. It's a weird level of time. Maybe I could have put it to that same like dexterity save, but you basically see at this point you're dragging him out of the room safely.
Then
And
can I
again,
do
you
it?
guys can kind of see there's a level of this room is the combat, and it's just a pure combat.
I'm just asking her. Seeing as my companion is going at the same turn as me, can I get her to drag Yarrick the rest of the way in on my turn still? Or
Technically, she goes at the end of your initiative, so realistically, you have to do your turn, and then she'll follow. But there's nothing that says like she can't come up and pull Jarek away from you and pull him further out.
all right, then I'll do it like this. I'm gonna pour a healing potion, my last one, down into Jarek.
All right, excellent. So you can give us that healing here, and then your sidekick's going to come up and pull Jarek the rest of the way out.
Yep.
So I think she could get basically to here with that would be 25 of her movement. If she wanted to drop him, she could move an extra 5. Um, yeah, so Jarek, you would be like coming to basically as she pulls your body like away from Taryn, who's trying to like put a potion in your mouth, and Taryn's probably just like, wait, just let me get. So he's just kind of chasing you as you're kind of coming to, and they're pulling you out of the room.
Yeah, Jarek almost looks almost like a sheepish look on his face as he, you know, going down so quickly, but he'll kind of unsteadily get to his feet, looking at Taryn and yeah, well that didn't work.
So I think they're going to basically again return to their corners in this room.
Yeah, no, that could have gone a lot better than it did. But more importantly, how are you feeling? You okay?
I've been better, but I don't think this frontal assault is working out.
Yes, the question to us, to the party here, like, don't you? We could see them from upstairs, right? Can't Ceros just blast them from above?
Not very honorable.
I mean, maybe not, but if it works,
Do you guys want to try it?
Zeros is willing to try it. And
What level of preparation would Jarek need to do that?
I mean, Jarek. I mean, they could also try, standing out in the corridor. If they send Zeros up, have Jarek, he's got a bow, Terrence got a bow. They could stand out kind of in this hallway and be peppering arrows as well in case they try to follow out. Um, Other than that, I mean, Jarek would try to kind of regain a bit of a, get a second wind.
So you can place Zeros where you would like to have him prepared to go with this. You can have the others in the hall. I assume if you're going to keep two of you there to shoot bows, you can keep your sidekick as well, and she can shoot her bow. I feel like the hall is meant to be 10 feet wide. I think you guys can both shoot side by side. Person behind has a little more difficulty. There is a little bit of cover, probably shooting through there in the long run. But as they get into the hall, you'll have that fine. Is it? Yeah. What do you think the order is? Are you going to leave Taryn there, Taryn?
yeah, no, I don't think it's gonna be front and center.
Gotcha. So where do you? Okay. Are you going to shoot bows with all three of those characters? We can effectively do the same thing where she can have a, let's just say, long bow. I feel like she's got crazy stupid damage where it can't be just a normal bow. But I feel like a long bow is a D8.
Yeah, Jarek would be firing his short bow.
See, the fact that you've got a short bow makes more sense that she would have a short bow. Let's say that she's shooting the same as Jarek. Um, are you guys going to let Zeros blast first?
I think, yeah, they would essentially use that as a um, signal to the others. Yeah, so I think Jarek would be like, shout up to Zeros like now to get things started off.
Gotcha. Let's go for the same idea that Eku blesses the three of you with bows in that corridor.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Do you otherwise want Eku to assist you all? I feel like on some level, Eku is usually more inclined to be praying and almost like meditating in the moments where you all are battling. I feel like that's kind of the best explanation for her like pacifism and reason also to not have her always fighting beside you. But it's up to you guys like what you want to ask her to do.
I think she's almost kind of like the medic healer at this point, so I'm not sure she'd be kind of like ready to assist if one goes down, but other than that,
Gotcha. So at present, we'll keep her blessing you, and if it comes to a healing point, she will heal the group. So if you guys will here, let me have you roll another round of initiative. We are going to start effectively, regardless of how this initiative comes out. Jarek, you are going to be the last person of the initiative because Zeros is going to start it. So we are going to start effectively at the end of your turn, Jarek.
gotcha. Oh wait, he's not wielding the. Oh, he'd just be attuned to it, not wielding it. Okay.
All right. So whenever you are ready, you can roll the attacks from Zeros. Let me know which one of the gladiators or which one of the statues he's attacking. Basically north, east, west.
Yeah, I think he's going to attack the one. Um, I imagine you probably best see the one maybe more directly south of him, so the one in the southwest corner.
The one I just put the yellow dot on.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. So as you guys prepare this, oh shit, realistically, all three of you can have your reactions set for when you see this, when you see the creature he attacks. Um so you guys can have reactions prepared here as far as this goes with archers. Because this thing, as soon as it gets hit, it is going to drop its spear into like a forward position, and it's going to immediately start to walk out of this room. So the moment you see, oh no, its turn still waits for. Let me get it out in initiative. My apologies. So, Jarek, so we're starting. Basically, Eku's not doing anything, and bam, it rolled an 18. So it's going to go right there. So, yeah, as soon as this thing gets hit, it's going to step out and it's going to come into the corridor. This is part of where, again, as far as I'm concerned, you guys can 100% have arrows ready for the moment you see Zeros' target. It is going to walk out of this room, spear down. Are you guys going to wait for it to come at you? Are you going to see if it walks past you? What kind of thoughts do you all have as soon as this thing comes around the corner?
Jarek would have been holding an arrow for kind of the first thing that came into sight, so he would be kind of loosing it, I think.
Yeah, basically the same with Taryn and Quinn.
Gotcha. So let's get those 3 arrows from you all here. And I think with that, it is going to. I think it's just going to roll between the 3 of you. It's going to go for. Yeah, right to Quinn. Shield bash. It should hit. Two saving throws from Quinn here. One is a DC 9, and then the other one is the strength saving throw, please. All right, so she holds to her feet. She is going to take 1 wound, and then 2 spear attacks.
Wait, did Quinn get the bless too, or was that?
Oh yeah. You've got your bless. Yeah, you just need a not 1. No, yeah, she got blessed. Okay. So no wounds taken. I think I rolled 1 spear attack there. Is that 2 of them? Yeah, I think the 13 hits her, a 20 total.
Yeah, she
'Cause
has
she's got
18.
crazy AC, right?
Yeah, 18 AC.
Gotcha. So I need 11 for her. The spear attack. Oh wait, that's just a DC 11 con save for her. And then you can roll a D4 to follow it. Yeah, the fighters are stupid powerful with this shit. That is then going to go to Terran. It will be your turn. What would you like to do? This thing has immediately taken Quinn into battle.
Let's
That
see.
one will fail a wound though, because it was the higher DC on it. So she still is missing 1 wound.
Let's see. I am gonna take another shot, maybe. Yeah, let's do that because I don't. Maybe. Yes. Sorry, Eric. I'm gonna drop my bow and get out one of the daggers at least. Pull out the
I
next
think
one.
it's set up so the bonus action can grab both of them and it's done with. But it costs you the bonus action, so you can't use it right now.
All right, it is. Yeah, so bonus action, get out both the daggers and just 1 attack.
Yeah, it's more like I imagine there's almost like a power word that Terran says that essentially creates the daggers in your hands. But that's the like why it's meant to be a bonus action is you have to actively kind of say this word. Solid strike besides Quinn, you will get that sneak. So you got what is that? Just under 30, 28. Yeah.
And then for Quinn, can she drop her short bow and pull out a sword and
That's
attack?
perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
She has bless roll a d4 there. 14 will miss. 16 will miss. And then one more attack for she's higher than 5th level. D4 18 will hit for 8 damage. Black is so hard. And then any movement from either of you, or I guess from Quinn.
No, we're fine right here at the moment.
Gotcha. So Jarek, you have um effectively Quinn and Taryn right in front of you. This creature is just inside of the tunnel. Um, the other creatures from inside don't seem to have reacted. Like right now, this is the only one that has come out. What is Jarek doing?
Yeah, I think Jarek has still got his bow out. He's holding his ground, but he's going to attempt to kind of giving like a shout of warning to Quinn and Taryn in front of him. Going to try and loose a couple of arrows into this thing coming into the hallway.
Gotcha. You can make those 2 arrow attacks. 21 will hit, and then that one's for 15. Second one will hit as well for another 7.
Um, yeah, he's going to hold his ground there. And I think Zeros is going to try
So
to maneuver.
Zeros is the one person who can fully see. The other two statues are not doing anything like
Yeah, just I think Zeros is going to um, maneuver a bit to try and get a little bit of a better line of sight on this one that's heading into the tunnel. If he can still see it, he will go to launch a couple Eldritch.
that. You were right next to Eku.
I was, yeah.
Gotcha. I feel like you're probably going to use most of your movement going to the east side, and we could say you can get a pretty heavy cover shot at it. Um, it's probably going to be something like, let's say you need a 20 to hit this. You're definitely shooting down 30 feet. So any further, and you would have zero shot at this creature.
Gotcha, yeah. And he's going to be kind of shouting to, he's like, you guys aren't moving yet.
Gotcha. So one of them blasts right into the wall. The second one is going to be able to hold the shot that you want, sinking in for 4 damage.
And that is all for Zeros.
Yeah, I think it's just going to do the same. Shield bash into Quinn. Yeah, Quinn. Should hit. Let me get 2 saves. Con save is the 9, and then a strength saving throw. D4 on that's not gonna help. She's
Yeah,
going to
I've
fall prone.
yes, sir. What was the con save at? Yes, because I forgot to press
Con
on the
save
table.
on the shield bash is low. I think that one's a 9.
All right. Yes, because I forgot to press the saving throw, so that should be +4 on that.
Oh, right. I got you. Yeah, yeah. The con save is definitely lower on that one. So shield bash, these will be at advantage as you are dropped to the ground. 7 or 19 should hit her, or 14. Oh wait, no. This is con 11. So that's plus. Oh, that's already with it. That's a good save. And then the second one with advantage. This one is going to be 14, 18. Con 18. So yeah, D4 can't make that save. She'll lose another wound for that. And then it is going to go to, when is it? 18? To Terran.
Yeah, then Terran is immediately gonna follow up with 2 slashes. Let's see.
I've got Eku is just like casually walking down there. She's not judging you all, but she's judging you all. 2 solid hits with the sneak attack, 9, 21, and then 26 total. Just kind of chipping away at the stone of this thing. Uh, no attacks like feel especially useful, but eventually, every once in a while, like those corner pieces where you're used to going for an artery, you just get massive chunks that are skipping off of this thing. But otherwise, it still looks statuesque. How about for Quinn? Couple broadswords.
Yeah, she's just gonna stand up and swing at it. Let's see.
D4 with the second one. 17 is a just hit. So 23 more. Oh shit, I didn't add Terrans last time. What did I say there? It was 26 and then 23. You can see as she's like hacking away at this thing, there's much. You guys are getting close to the point where the other one like exploded, where you're like hacking off chunks, and you're starting to see it's looking less and less humanoid here. I think this goes right to where it will be back to Jarek's turn. What would you like to do, sir?
Yeah, Jarek is continuing just to fire arrows into this thing as it gets continues going after Quinn.
Gotcha. Second one's got it for 16 more. You're going to see as your arrow kind of plinks in between the other two's attacks, and this thing just starts to crumble and explode into the air. Everything is going to turn to gravel. And you guys start to calm down and look for the spear. Gravel. Like all the other stone, it just shattered.
Jarek is kind of looking at that, kind of shaking his head, looking towards Terrence. Like, I don't think we fought with honor that time.
Yeah, no, probably not. Of course, they had some countermeasures for shading the fight. Ah, fuck.
So we're close to where we could end things. Are you guys good to keep going for a moment here and see if we can solve this?
Yeah, I'm good to keep going for a little bit.
Yeah, same
Okay.
here.
All right. So let's assume we put a little longer of a rest into this. Um, if I go too far in like narrating what you guys do, let me know, please. But let's say that you guys do kind of give in for this day, take the time to rest here. Would you sleep inside of the temple? Would you feel comfortable doing that?
I think so. Jarek would be.
Yeah, Terra would just be going, yeah, sure. Just keep a lookout for goblins, or not goblins, kobolds.
Excellent. Well, that brings me to the next two thoughts that I have. Let me have each of you roll a d20. We will have the first one that will be wait, kobolds, wizards, random. Uh, and then, yeah. So you guys are going to basically end up camping out inside of this temple. As far as things go, you know, you can make your camp kind of wherever you want. You guys go and gather anything from outside? Or do you have everything inside?
I feel like we probably would have left some of our like backpacks and bigger supplies out when we came in. We would probably go to gather them up again before we kind of camped, though. I think.
Gotcha. So do you think everybody would head out to grab your supplies? Or do you guys think you have just some people are going to grab them? Is somebody exploring the rest of the dungeon? Or like the rest of that hallway? I assume somebody's curious enough to explore the rest of the hallway.
Uh, Sorry, which
Terran
hallway?
would probably be, because it's the one after the Colosseum pit, right? Basically.
Yeah. It's the one I didn't mean to reveal it, but like I revealed it earlier and I just showed the whole thing. But would you guys actually go down that hall? Oh, I'm
Oh,
on the wrong there.
oh, I assumed it was the only way to get through there was to get through the room with the statues.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, my bad. I was thinking of that differently. I'm sorry. Distracting myself and confusing myself. So yeah, you guys don't go there. Does everybody go get the luggage? Kind of like your camp stuff?
I think Zeros would go with Jarek. He could probably he would offer to just grab it while Taryn stayed inside, but I'll leave that up to Taryn.
Does that sound good by you, Taryn?
Terran would be all up for that. If someone else went and got his stuff, that's perfect.
Alrighty. As far as things go, you guys can camp through the night. It was a very awkward way of basically seeing if you guys leave the temple all at once. Um, you can return in, have your night's sleep. Everybody can take a long rest. When you go to prepare this fight the next day, you guys are going to see that there are only two statues inside of that room. How do you want to treat the room when you go into it next time? What would you all like to do?
Well, Jarek's thinking we're gonna have to fight it a little bit more honorably because when we destroyed the first one, the spear remained intact. Second time, when we got a little cagey with it, it didn't. If we need four altogether, that might present a problem. He's thinking, if we're able to get a rest, we kind of just go in and, fight it kind of like the first way we went in this time. Try to defeat those last two, or the two that we see. Doesn't want to try to get too tricky about it.
Yeah, no, I'm on board with that. It seems it wants honorable combat, so we're probably gonna have to give it that.
Another option we could consider is if we just send in one person, see if it's like a one-on-one combat kind of thing. If only one of them starts to move, but then the risk there is if they both move, that one well.
Yeah, no, I feel it's safer for go for a team effort, even if we have to face multiple enemies.
And would you care for me to fight at your side? Or would you like me to simply bless you all once again?
It seems we may have more need of your direct assistance than it like to admit first. Would stand with us, then perhaps that could turn the tide.
What then is our strategy? Would we have Quinn, Derek? Will you rush in? Taryn and myself would follow. And she'll kind of like just looking to Zeros. Would you fight from above, or will you join us?
Will Zeros will say, like, kind of not looking too happy about it, but he will say that he will join with them, he'll stand with them, go with them. Might still stay towards the back, but you get, Jarek will say still think it still makes sense, myself and Quinn up front, followed by Taryn, Eku, Zeros.
Would you all like to hold your action to rush in when Jarek rushes into the room?
Yeah, that seems fine to me. Try to get us in to the room as fast as possible.
When you all are ready, you can roll initiative. All right, so Jarek, on your turn, you can rush into the room the moment you step foot inside of the pit. Their spears are going to drop as their tips face you. What are you doing as you rush into the room with your others to follow?
Yeah, he's gonna kind of rush in, weapons at the ready, make a beeline for the one to the north, and he's gonna be just like kind of shouting like with me back to the others as he starts swinging out at this thing.
Gotcha. So you can make those as far as the movement goes. Um, Everybody else can effectively rush in. Their action spent here for this turn, and it's gonna go. So solid hit with the first for 11. Ooh, might as well be a sneak attack. They'd be right there behind you. So 12. Second one, a bless would make that hit. So the second one will hit. Total of 19 short sword hits for 26.
Yep, sounds right. Can Zeros see this one from where he is? Because I don't think he can move and take a reaction, right?
No, you can have him take his reaction be. Oh, if you didn't want to have him with the others react to run in.
Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, he still wants to stay kind of back. He'll probably. I think he would move in.
As far as things, yeah, he's got to at least approach. But you could get a line of sight on it by moving closer to the door. I feel like the problem of is how this pit is set up is the pit should actually be much larger when we're on it. I think the image that I'm using right now is the pit from our view, like way up above. I think this pit's actually 25 feet instead of 20 feet wide. But yeah, he can move up to the door, make his shots on your turn, on his turn, which comes after
Right.
yours. So my point before was he could have actually gotten a reaction move for free because he comes after you. But the rolls for him, 20's good. 16 is, you guys have not been blessing him. 16 is a miss. So for 6. As you step into the room, Jarek, you would hear, well, I guess everybody would hear the same shink that you guys heard the first time you walked in here. And you are going to hear the same rhythmic as something is marching down the hall. You guys can expect that there is indeed another of these, or one or two of these, or four of them coming. And then I think it's gonna go. Oh, it's my bad. So that's the one walking around the corner. And then we're going to the top of the order. And let's see which one's coming up first. The one that you guys are fighting is going to. Let's see. Going to shield bash into Quinn. 19 hits her. That one's
Yes.
con
Does.
9, and then a strength saving throw, please. Con saving throw as well. So that one's good. Strength saving throw, good. The spear miss. We're gonna go to the southern of these. Um, oh, it's 1-2. That's why I confused myself. This one's gonna close in to attack Jarek with a shield bash. Should hit. Strength saving throw, please. And it will do 11 damage to you. You're blessed. Roll a d4. You need a not 1. So you are able to hold to your feet as it smacks into you. And the next two spear attacks are going to miss. And I think that brings us back to Terran. My bad. I can't hear if you started to speak. My headphones are dying right now.
Yeah, no, I didn't say it. I just the one that was southwest that moved up to Yarrick, right?
My
Is that
bad. Which one?
the one that was yeah, that one.
Yeah, I didn't get to move it. I was like doing all of that while my headphones were dying, but yeah, that's where they are at the end of that turn there. But still, like the idea, if you guys are attacking the same one, the one that Jarek has attacked is in that right corner.
Yeah, Terran is gonna try to attack the one. Yeah, he's gonna attack the one in front of him. So like the one in center of all of us.
Gotcha. You can make those attacks. D4 will not help the 12. You will hit with the first one though, dealing 24 damage.
Yeah, and then Quinn is gonna keep on attacking the one that Jarek started on.
Gotcha. Let's get those attacks. Looks like both of those hit for 17.
And that's the end of their turns.
When you guys asked Eku for her help, do you want her fighting? Do you expect her to fight?
I still think she's mostly kind of like in a support type role, like to help us if we go down.
So if that sounds good to you, Chris, Eku is just going to hold at the edge of the chamber as she holds your bless up here, and it will go to Jack.
Yeah, Jarek is gonna keep stabbing at the one in the corner.
D4 will not help the first. The second one will hit. And then a short sword.
Sorry, I clicked the wrong one the second time.
All good. 10 on the first one. Or 10 on the actual main hand. Oh, it's not Chris's short sword. And that will hit for another 13, so 23.
Yeah, and I think Jarek's going to go ahead and action surge so he can attack it a couple more times.
Excellent. I think as you guys develop a little bit of a familiarity with these, you can see that this statue is probably beyond about halfway destroyed. There we go. All right, there's a lot of numbers for ignoring some of the sneak attacks. So 7 and then another 13, so 20 more.
Yep. And then Zeros is going to be kind of at the same time pummeling it with a couple more Eldritch Blasts. Same one. Those both miss.
He's got a +6 and he rolls that bad. He's literally at a 50% to hit.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him.
Oh wait, it might be a 45% chance to hit. Oh, it's 50. So after you, it's going to go to the one marching into the room. The moment it hits the doorway, its spear is going to drop, and it is looking to attack Jarek. So 1, 2. Ooh. Not even a target there. It will go after Quinn. So it'll basically step into the room, shield bashing Quinn. Shield bash will hit Constitution level 9, and then a Strength saving throw, which I think I guys have told you it's at 15. So she's good on those. Spear attack. That is a Con 11 save. Oh wait, does 17 hit her? I think we said yes.
No, actually, 18.
18? All right, so it's just a Con 11 with that second one. The 23 will hit. And then the one up north is going to go for Quinn as well. Shield bash, miss, spear, Con 11. So she's good there. One between you guys is going to go for her as well. All three of them are ganging up. 20 should be a Con 9 and then a Strength 15. She cannot pass that Strength. So that next one will hit, which is a Con 11. She'll fall prone. And then 17 is a miss.
Oh, right. 17 was missed.
So that's all three of them basically pushing into this room to focus their attacks in on her, and then it is going to go around the order to Terran.
Yeah, Terran's gonna keep up on the one that he was attacking. So let's see. So the one just straight east of him.
Got 2 solid hits. That sneak attack. For 12, 31, and then 5 more, 36.
Yeah, and then Quinn is gonna stand up and swing at her northern one. The one that she and Jarek has been pummeling on.
As you're attacking your statue, Terran, you've got that thing well enough to where you fought these enough. That one is well a ways to being destroyed. Both of those are currently bloodied, as you guys can see. Her first attack is going to miss. You can't help that. The second attack was an automatic with bless because it's technically 17 is the minimum. So that one is for. Is that a 2 or a 7? 7.
That's a 7.
And then after Taryn, Eku's holding here, it will go to Jarek.
Yep, and Jarek's just trying to keep chipping away at this same one to his right.
17 is the hit. So for 19, um, yeah. Let me get all of your attacks on it if you.
Yeah, he would just be going.
Now. That can't be made to hit. The short sword will hit. Yep. I think the short sword is going to destroy it. With a total of 1924. Yeah. So in that attacking, you'll be able to take that one out as you guys. It's really weird that stone statues don't have any sort of like resistance here, but these things just get picked apart and you're just seeing like chunks of like this stone just coming across before this thing kind of explodes out into tiny little pieces of gravel. And with a little bit more awareness now of the two different states, the spear is going to drop to the ground where it clings, or it like clings like cling clang, and rests. The spear is intact on the ground, and it's going to go to two more of these creatures attacking you all.
I think Zero still has to.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, so Zeros will watch that as Zeros can attack the one he sees Terran attacking in the center.
Yeah, as Jarek kind of turned around to look towards that one, Zeros lets out a couple.
Solid hit with the first. The bless would have helped that, but the second one will miss for
5 damage total. 5, yeah.
So both of these have 2 targets. The first one is gonna go for Jarek. Shield bash. Oh wait, which one is the first one? That one has to work for this. Yeah, I think it's gonna cross like that. Shield bash should hit you with the 21 there. It's going to deal 8 bludgeoning damage to you, and then I need a strength saving throw, DC 15. You've got blessed, so that's a pass. Spear attack will hit. That's going to deal 13 damage to you, and then the second spear is going to miss with a 13, and it will go to the next one. Is going to target Quinn again. Shield bash against Quinn will miss. Spear miss. Spear will hit. DC 11 Constitution from Quinn. She's good. Back to you at the top, Taryn.
Yes, sir. Okay, yeah. Taryn is just gonna keep at it, the one he's been going at it.
Oh shit, my bad, guys. I forgot this is the day that I actually have to go early here. As far as things go in this battle, can I narrate the rest of this?
That's fine with me.
I think you guys are at a solid state where you've had to figure out the problem. You've killed a statue inside of the room and gotten the spear. You know that the spears go into the statues up top. You've killed one outside and seen the statues loot, like the spear disintegrates with them. You've seen that a statue comes out of that back hallway for one, but not both of them. So you've kind of seen the different parts of this. Killing a statue inside of this room uh, leaves you with the spear and solves this kind of riddle. You've now killed your second one. As far as the tough battle goes, you guys might need Eku to heal you guys. I don't even know if that would necessarily happen. I think it would be really, really close, obviously, with Jarek is already bloodied. But in the long run, you guys are close to having solved this. just kind of benefiting from her bless. That's why I think the sidekicks are like kind of what you need to be almost there. But in the long run, when you guys do claim all 4 spears, um, even if it is only by chance, but that you effectively never leave this place, like midway through the battle, you guys can eventually get all 4 spears into those statues up top. When you do, the pedestal is going to open in the exact same mechanism that Terran effectively kind of familiarized yourself with. And from within the oculus is going to raise the cube of Shagambi. And you guys can claim another cube from this riddle.
The tough, yeah, it was tough.